How great is it? Does anybody do a better celly than Brazil players when they score a goal?
Oh, even Julie went crazy. She loved it.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this final Thursday of June. Hope your week's going well. We're over the hump. We can get to the finish line from here, can't we? How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. That was a risk right there. We just tried a little something. The voice seemed to hold up okay. So
it did. It did. I get nervous when I hear you start that these days. I hate to say it. I get, yesterday, David, I played golf with the guy, good friend, and he's a good player. And he's got a case of the you-know-whats.
Oh, no.
Winning chips.
The Y's or the S's?
The S's.
Oh, man. I don't even want to say it on air in case he's listening.
And he's not. I doubt he's up this early, but he does. I mean, I got this S thing going when I chip. And so, I mean, at one point he's like, hey, can you video me when I chip so I can see it? Because I don't ever give anybody instructions on the golf course. I don't,
right.
even in a tournament, because he and I are partners in a tournament. And I said at one point, I said, man, you're just flying through this. I go, you look like you can't wait to get that shot over with. He's like, all right, okay. That I'm just saying, I go, I don't do this, but, and then I videoed him. And then we get to the 18th hole and he happened to catch a tree on his, because I told him on 11, I said, if you just hit all the greens, you don't have to chip.
Boy, there's some advice,
right?
See, that's why your playing partners don't want you to be helpful,
right? So he proceeds to hit quite a few greens and plays pretty well in the back nine.
Good.
And we get to the 18th hole, and he catches the tree that's on the left side of the hole, and the ball drops straight down. And I'm walking. I grab my putter and I start walking to the green because I actually hit that green, and he goes, hey, watch it. And I go, don't worry, I'm walking backwards. And I'm not joking. As I walk to my ball, I'm like, he's chipping. I'm turning around and making sure I keep an eye on this thing. And damn, if that thing didn't come like a ground ball to third base by or first base by a right-hander. Holy cow. That's no fun. And so that was, that. And I got to tell you this, David, I've had back-to-back Zoom doctor appointments in the last 2 days.
Gotta love them.
Way better than driving to Tampa. I have to be brutally honest with you.
In that case, I completely agree.
And I already made mention that my main doctor was yesterday, and he had some Moulton problems with his Zoom. He was technologically shaky. And so yesterday I had it right after the show. I moved it to right after the show because it was scheduled at 2, and I begged them to move it to 10 so I could play golf. And
there you go.
Hey, you guys, let's try to work around my schedule here for a change. So I did it right here in the studio because I'm getting ready to get the podcast up and those things that I got to finish the show with. So I had the phone sitting so he could see a little more than the folks on Twitch and YouTube and you can see. And there happens to be above me a Steeler book. Just putting things on this bookshelf to make it look good for a sports talk show host's office. And he says, are you a Steelers fan? I says, no, the wife's from Pittsburgh. She is really. And so we got to talk, and I said, but this is my office. I do a radio show. What kind of show do you do? I said, I do a sports show. Really? I didn't know that. Well, of course you didn't know that because you've never asked. And so he's originally from Miami, and he starts right away. I mean, he goes, all right. He goes, I know we got stuff to talk about. He goes, but can we talk about this Giannis trade and what you think? And so we did 3 to 5 minutes on the Heat. And he then brought up his kids. And because he said he's a Dolphin fan also. And he brought up his kids. And the kids are now old enough to question him
as to why
they are being raised as Dolphins.
Exactly.
Why can't we root for Tampa, Dad? They win.
Why can't we root for anybody? Okay, honestly, do you love us? I thought you say every morning and every night you love us, and there is a lot of evidence to the contrary, Dad.
But he, but they live in Tampa, so I get it. They're still young. That obviously they can
go the other way.
Love their dad, and it's where they live. So Dr. Padron, who is my hematologist, and he is also a researcher. And so he only has a couple days in the office because he spends most of his time researching cancer. And he said, being a Dolphins fan is a lot like researching cancer.
Oh, my goodness.
I get up every morning and think I'm going to make a discovery. And the fact of the matter is, most days things are exactly the same. And that's kind of the same thing as being a Dolphin fan. I lost it. I don't know if, David, we've been doing this. Next month will be 20 years you and I have been working together. Yep. Has anyone in that time, me, you, any guest we've had, Orlando Elzagari, all the different Dolphin people we've had, Kim Bocamper going back, 10 years. We used to have Kim on regularly on the show. Has anybody quite put a Dolphin fandom in perspective that well before?
I almost want to say it in the voice of the late, great Jim Mandis. I get up every morning and I pour my coffee and I go to work and I think I'm going to find the next Marino. I think I'm going to make Miami great again. But at the end of the day, I feel like a cancer doctor. More research is needed. See you tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. I mean, that's perspective right there, kids. That is solid.
Listen, I think the only way you can get away with that is if you're a cancer doc. Okay. I mean, it's a great analogy. It's completely accurate. But I think the only people who can use it are cancer doctors. I mean, I don't know if cancer patients can use it.
No. I don't think they can. I mean, it is like Gaffigan talking about his wife and the brain surgeon. What, it's not like it's brain surgery. No, actually, every day it is. That's what it is.
That's what I do. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I laugh so hard, but I can tell you this: one, I will never forget it. And two, at the beginning of every meeting I have from now until the end of time with Dr. Padron, I will look him dead in the eye and say, "Your kids Bucks fans yet?"
Or are you studying something different?
Right. Well, if he's there, he's studying the same thing.
That's
so
true.
But I and because that's how I would say 90% of us. I do think the younger generations, due to fantasy and the internet and TikTok and all of the things that we get instant highlights from, I think there are probably more kids leaving their family's fandom, if you will, and rooting for players. But I also think we sometimes get in that habit here more, David, because there are so many people from so many places, whether you're in Jacksonville, whether you're here in Southwest Florida, whether you're in Tampa. I mean, I just saw a article about boom towns based on housing and things like that. Jacksonville, Tampa, Fort Myers, all in the top 75, but I think they were all in the top 20 because it was the 75 cities. And all three of the cities, the big cities where we do our show, are in there. And for that matter, Port Charlotte, which Northport's right there, Northport was in it as well. So, when you have that, what do you have? You have people moving from everywhere.
Right.
Who are bringing their fandom. And I've had friends who moved around and started rooting for the teams in the cities they lived in. My good friend Kim, she's from Cincinnati, loyal, and now she's back there. But they lived in New Orleans. Her husband was a hotel manager, and they lived there and became Saints fans because it was, you've been to New Orleans. It's hard not to be a Saints fan in New Orleans. That's a party. That's a good time, man.
I think they politely ask you to leave. Actually, politely, they'll you could still come to a few parties, but they're kind of like, they got the puncher and they're like, hey, only 3 parties left, just so you know. Click, here you go, have a good time.
So, but maybe it's changing a little bit more. But again, if you live in, Ohio or Michigan or wherever, you are brought up and you only see that. Those are the games that are on every night. So you don't have the same choice maybe as we do, where we're all getting the package because we're rooting for our hometown teams.
And like I've said to you, I grew up a Giants fan. They've delivered 4 Super Bowls for me. They owe me nothing. Now, I also have a bunch of Jets fans friends. Okay, they look at me like, I don't want to hear a word. Not a word, not a syllable. Okay? Keep your damn show and your thoughts to yourself, all right? Got it. I discovered something yesterday, though, Mark.
Yeah?
Okay? Fandom can occur with the smallest of things. My wife's getting a little soccered out. Okay? Because for the first time yesterday, she said, how much longer we got of this? So that's the first clue that, all right, we've gone through all the appetizers and she's ready for dessert.
Moulton jumped in a little more than he's letting on to, everybody. I've been very open with my World Cup fandom. David had not really talked much about it. He tries to use soccer words, and he and he has talked about the Team USA efforts, but we've not heard much about Mexico and in Croatia.
So I explained. So the more my wife knows, the more interested she is. So I give her the background on Brazil and Scotland, and I go, Scotland has no chance. Scotland's playing for a 0-0 tie. If there's an act of war, the final could be 1-1. Okay, that's as good as it's going to get, blah, blah, blah. So minutes into the match, Brazil scores. And they go up to that corner kick stick, and they start dancing.
You're damn right they do.
Stick. And my wife fell in love. My wife looked at me like any of those men could take me home if they can move like that.
And they all can.
Yes, they can.
And here's the thing. A soccer goal, David, they all jump on the goal score.
Right.
Not Brazil. Brazil. Not only do they give the goal scorer his space, many times the other players will line up next to him and dance with him.
I feel as if they're all doing Victor Cruz and the salsa in the end zone. I'm like, look at them. She's like, oh, I can watch this to the end. How many times are they going to score? And I go, at least 3-4. She goes, okay, I can watch.
Yeah, if you're going to pick a team, it's a little bandwagon-esque because they're really good, but they play a fun style and they're having fun. So are their fans.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
No! Oh,
This summer, there's only one place to experience the roar of the World Cup at the British Open Pub in Bonita Springs, your World Cup headquarters, where the team is bringing every match live, full sound on every TV across the patio, with daily food and drink specials from the opening match on June 11th through the final on July 19th. Catch the electric atmosphere for every England and USA match and all the matches in between at the British Open Pub, Bonita Springs, at the shops of Pelican Landing, where the World Cup comes alive.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Hey, Bob, in the Twitch chat room. So which one don't you count? Do you not count the Switzer one? Do you not count one of Landry's? I'm just curious, which one are you taking away from the Cowboys?
I will say, Brian, during the rain delay, it was bothersome because my wife it's one of the few times I can get the daughter to sit on the couch with her mother and father. She'll watch The Feud. She thinks The Feud is hysterical. There are a lot of YouTube shorts that are The Feud, so she is well aware of the show. She thinks it's funny.
My wife only wants to watch Fast Money, but she loves it.
Yeah, I mean, they've tried to, the answers, I think they've told the families to get dirtier with the answers because they do say a lot of things that would have obviously never been said even 5-8 years ago. But I'm with you. I am really getting annoyed because I've been nice to my wife and I've been putting Wheel on for her. She loves it. She's so good, it bothers me. Like I'm trying and she starts first off, she starts talking it out. I'm like, well, that's not fair. Okay. Keep it to yourself.
Exactly.
But then by the time I say keep it to yourself, she's already blurted out the correct answer. It's like, okay, this is fun. I will say, I know I said it before though, the Jeopardy on mute was one of the funniest things my family had ever seen.
And then I'm
making up, and I'm quick. I'm just whatever it is. I've got an answer. And what's the French Revolution? I don't even know what the question. I'm trying to make the answers sound, somewhat intelligent.
Right. It was about pastries.
Right. The Iliad.
Right.
Come here. You can come back up if you want.
Is that the one with all the stripes?
Yeah.
I saw the tail.
Yeah.
I'm like, I haven't seen a cat like that in a while.
That's the girl. She likes me. The boy likes me 3-4 times a day. There are certain times right before he eats that he wants attention.
I was going to say, I know what 3-4 times those are. I'm hungry.
A quick question for you guys in the chat room. Is David noticeably louder than I am? Because in my headsets, the levels are really good. On Comrex, the levels are really even. Someone emailed the program director of our Fort Myers affiliate yesterday saying that David was way louder than me. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I'm watching the levels, and that's not the case. So, okay. Thank you, Dad. Well, come here. You know I'm not going to pick you up because you won't stay if I pick you up. It's got to be on your terms. Sent the cat out for the snake yesterday. We think the snake's gone.
Well, have you opened up the chest?
No.
Well, why not?
Because there could be a snake in it, and that would scare the bejibbers out of anybody who opened it.
Well, but I thought you've got the cat with you. Isn't that your protection?
Good point. You want to go get a snake later? That's a perfect word for it, Steve. They are persnickety.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. The starting five in a little more than 15 minutes time. Pat Kirwan will join us later today. It's that day during the offseason. It's Thursday. Final one of June, by the way. Yeah, how about that? Huh? Damn near midway through the year already. Magic numbers, 65-76. 65 days to the college football season kicks off with week 0. And 76 days, 11 weeks yesterday. Seahawks, Patriots. Tonight's 11 weeks till Niners and Rams. My, oh, my. To get their season started. So, listen, I had this crazy idea. And since you're the business guy of the two of us, I'm just going to throw this out there. So we spent a lot of time yesterday, and I ended up getting into a lot of discussions yesterday with friends of mine, or sports talk friends of mine, if you will, about this whole PGA Tour trying to run 2 tours simultaneously thing. And like we talked about at the end, which is, sponsorship. First off, are they going to be able to get enough sponsors to kick in enough to run the big money tour events? And then are they going to get anybody that's going to put any of their money towards the Challenger Series?
Right, because they are moving the signature events. Basically every event's now a signature event. In terms of money, the field will be much larger. There will be cuts, but the field will be, but the purse, they're saying is $30 million. So that's what they're looking at from a sponsorship standpoint to cover this.
Right.
And now they have to do it 8 times. They're going to have to more than double this in 2028. This isn't next year, by the way. This begins in 28.
Right. They need a little time to get this all together. So there will be sponsors exemptions next year. They go away in 2028. The guys being able to make their own schedule, I think, goes away in 2028. But that's a whole other discussion, and they got to work that out. And
I'm not sure. I actually think it might get better because they don't have to play all 20. As opposed to they have to play 7 of the 8, they don't have to play all. I think it's 19 because he said 24 events, and that includes the President's Cup and the Ryder Cup. So that's 1.
And the majors.
So I think there are 19 now tour events, if you will.
And just to give you an idea, right now, signature events, the total purse in those events are $20 million. Like this week, they're in Connecticut. They're playing at a pitch and putt. It's a par 70 in which Furyk, I think, shot 58 there. All right. And they're, $20 million is the purse. Well, in 2 years, that purse will have to be $30 million. So they're going to have to double the number of events that they come up for the big purses for, and they're going to have to throw $10 million on top of what they're already throwing out there as a signature event. But it just got me thinking. You own a company. I don't know. Let's just say 3M. One of those Midwest tour events that apparently is going to be left, on the sidelines. I mean, hell, for that case, how about Valspar? Because I don't think that event's going to make the regular tour either.
Great call, by the way. That's the perfect tournament and perfect sponsor.
Okay.
Great venue. I mean, it is. They're into it in the marketplace.
Very much so. It's a top 15 market. It's a huge golf market, the whole deal. And yet they're going to leave that one on the side of the road, reportedly. Absurd. Okay. If you're Valspar, right now, let's just pick a number. Let's just say you shell out $10 million to put your name on the PGA Tour event, because you're not a signature event, so it's $10 million. Going forward, you want to put that $10 million on a Challenger Series event? Or what if the LPGA Tour called you up and said, hell, you could title sponsor one of our tournaments. Okay, we'll make it seem like the biggest thing that's not called a major, and we'll do it for $5. What do you say? I'm being serious, because I thought to myself that you and I could go pitch the LPGA Tour here in the coming days and say, well, here's the sales model. We're going to go after all the title sponsors of the tour events that are going to be left on the side of the road. And we're going to say, for half price, okay, you could make the LPGA Tour event, which will get, by the way, a great field, because they ain't used to paying for this kind of money. You can get 2 LPGA tournaments for the price of 1 Challenger Series event. What do you want?
David, I'm going to throw a little fly in the ointment on you.
Okay.
Take the Champions Tour over both of them.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not being, because I respect the LPGA Tour as much as anybody. I like watching them play. Their game is more like our game than the guys that are on tour, either Challenger Tour or the Champions, or the regular PGA Tour. I mean, I can't understand when they're hitting pitching wedge from 190. That doesn't make any sense to me. So the women, and they hit it longer now, but they hit it, their irons are about like my irons.
Right.
I watch them and go, okay, that makes sense to me. And so, but when you talk about who's watching them, you were talking yesterday how few people watch Friday of a non-signature event now.
Right. On the Golf Channel on a PGA Tour, you're getting like 400,000 people to watch that coverage, and you'd get 10 times that the very next day on CBS.
Right. But what are you getting for an LPGA event? Some of them aren't even live.
Oh, I understand.
So I'm not interested in the LPGA Tour.
Okay.
I would be interested in the Champions Tour, however.
Now, see, I'd be interested in the Champions Tour if they can start getting 1 or 2 people to play on it on a semi-regular basis. And we all know who those 2 people are.
But for the golf fan with money, and that's most of them, they watch the Champions Tour because they know who all these guys are.
Okay.
So I think if my options are the LPGA Tour or the Challenger Series of the PGA Tour, I may look for somewhere else to spend my money, period.
Fair enough.
I'm not trying to, you're going A and B, and I'm going C and D here.
Oh, it's your money. Okay, it's fair. You can do with it what you want. It's your money. Okay, but I was just thinking, if I was the LPGA Tour, do I just literally go after all of the title sponsors right now that are being patted on the head and stroked and being politely told, yeah, you're not going to be on the regular tour in a year and a half?
And maybe they will, because I don't know, one of the big reasons that companies shell out the money they do for these events are all of the things that go with it inside the event. The number of pro-am spots they get, the ability for these companies to schmooze their best clients for 4 and 5 days at the event. And I don't know how interested a big company is in having, their guys at whatever tournament for a week to play with guys ranked 100 through 200 on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, you want to play with the top 25 on the women's tour, or you want to play with guys ranked 120 to 150 on the men's tour?
The problem is that with the LPGA Tour, in that top 25, and I'm not being a jerk here, how many of them speak English?
A lot more than you think.
Yeah, well, not as their first language. I mean, it's a heavily Asian tour. It still is.
It is. number one player in the world's from, Sarasota, Bradenton.
I gotcha.
Okay, there's a couple of English gals who are, top 10 in the world. But yes, there's no doubt it's an issue. There's no doubt it's an issue. But it just had me thinking, in which I'm like, wow, is the representative from the LPGA Tour going to be in the waiting room just waiting for the PGA Tour guy to leave?
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape. The Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and your
sound.
roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Probably could have just waited 8 seconds and told you that, Tim, but you're right. You're all in the family, married with children, Sanford and Son. I sent my kid clips from Sanford and Son the other day when he's in court. I'm like, this was on network TV.
Yes,
And he's dropping N-bombs with hard R's in multiple sentences. I mean, he's taken on, profiling and racism, and that's like 74, 75, something like that, maybe a little later, because I actually remember watching the show. But not only was it on network TV, we watched that in reruns for about 5 years too.
Did Bob answer which one of the Super Bowls he's not giving the Cowboys credit for?
No.
Bob, I got to know, was it one of Landry's? Was it Switzer's? Because you said the Cowboys got you 4.
It's J.J. Walker's birthday today, Deadstroke. That is Good Times, is the show you're referring to. Saw some highlights of In Living Color the other day too, Paul. Oh my goodness. Because I didn't watch that regularly. I just didn't. It was spectacular. Between the segment the two guys would do and be homosexual, and the segment where they would play brothers that were lily white, even though they weren't. My goodness, those clips were funny. Well, Men on Film's the one. The other one, I couldn't tell you what it was called. Is that okay? That's why I described it, because if you said that, I wouldn't know what you were talking about, Tigger. I really wouldn't. But that was, my goodness. Thanks, big man. Appreciate it. B-man, rather. Thank you. Appreciate it. Anytime there's a new thing in there, we like you joining us on YouTube or Twitch.
Yes.
Makes us feel like there are actually people listening.
Right. Anytime we feel like we've gone from 9 to 11 during the day.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. We got Pat Kirwan, a little more than an hour. Jorge Solana in 2 hours to talk both the Heat and the World Cup. Right now, I'll talk about all of that and more with
The Starting Five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is The Starting Five.
All right, we're at the point of the World Cup where countries go home. That means their fan bases go home. That means less hotel rooms, less drinking. Okay, it's a really sad time, okay, through this weekend in America, because this $17 billion train is going to get slightly derailed over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we need a lot of results to keep Scotland
right
around.
Yes, we'll explain. So here's the deal. You got 4 countries per group. First and second place countries advance. There's 12 groups. That's 24. 32 countries advance to the knockout round. So 8 of the 12 third place countries are also going to advance. So Scotland finished third in their group, but they need help so that they're one of the 8 good third place teams and not one of the 4 Challenger Series third place teams, if you will. You see what I did there?
David, my wife drove across the alley. She had a good friend in Miami yesterday. And I didn't tell her that Scotland and Brazil were playing because, you know what? You picked that day to go. It's on you. But you know the signs they have over the highway, you know, letting people know what's going on.
Right.
All it said on the alley was, "Go, please drive safely."
Nice.
Yeah, well done. Well done, Florida DOT.
So groups A, B, and C were determined yesterday. Group A, Mexico with a 3-0 win over Czechia. They won their group. South Africa with the surprise, the 1-0 win over South Korea. So they finished second in the group. South Korea will likely advance as a third-place team, but we shall see. Group B, Switzerland beat Canada in Canada to win the group, 2-1 the final. Canada finishes second. What's the implication? If Canada had won, they would have stayed home and played the next 2 rounds. Now they have to go on the road. Now, I mean, going from Vancouver to Los Angeles isn't the worst travel in the world, but anyway, they could have stayed home.
If we let them in.
Well, there is that. Canada's not letting a few players on other countries in because of their criminal records. So, everybody's got rules. By the way, the third place team in Group B is very likely to be Team USA's first round opponent in the knockout round, Bosnia-Herzegovina. They beat Qatar 3-1. It's a 99% chance, apparently, that the U.S. is playing Bosnia in the knockout round coming up. I believe it's Wednesday, July 1st. Okay, I know Team USA plays tonight against Turkey, but I think their knockout round match is scheduled for Wednesday, July 1st, and they say it's a 99% chance that they're going to end up playing Bosnia.
Yeah, July 1st, 8 p.m. in Santa Clara. They're staying out west.
Hello. Group C, by the way, Brazil won the group with a 3-0 win over Scotland. They put about 6 in the back of the net. A few of them got waved off, but the good thing was they danced for every time they put it in the back of the net. All right, Morocco finished second in the group. They beat Haiti 4-2. So Brazil and Morocco advance. Scotland's the one that finished third. They drank Boston out of beer. So needless to say, America is hoping that the Scottish fans can go somewhere else and drink them out of house and home. It's good for the economy. Mentioned it tonight, 10 o'clock, SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, United States and Turkey, 10 o'clock, Fox from Los Angeles. Baseball, Rays beat the Royals 5-3. Ande Diaz, 4 hits. He had an RBI. He's now tied for the most RBIs in Rays history. Tampa Bay remains 3 back of the Yankees because they doubled up the Tigers 4-2. Goldschmidt with 2 more homers. But Jason Dominguez, maybe the biggest hit of his young Yankee career. He homered off Scooble to help the Yankees beat the Tigers 4-2. Boy, the Orioles, they've had some crushing losses lately. Just when you think they're getting their act together, they gave up 3 in the 8th and 2 in the 10th and lose to the Angels yesterday, 7, 6, and 10. Both runs in the 10th were unearned. Houston beat Toronto 3-1. They've won 6 of 8. The Astros just 2.5 back in the West. Toronto remains below 500, and they're 4.5 back. Oh, excuse me. They just remain below 500. I got my numbers confused. Rockies 8-6 over the Red Sox. They scored 3 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. Mark, you mentioned it earlier in the week. All of the runs being scored by bunting. This is Colorado at home against Boston, 6-6 in the 8th. And a squeeze bunt, which goes down as a sacrifice bunt, drove in the winning run. Cleveland ties things up with the White Sox in the Central. Cleveland gave up 2 homers in the 9th, but then won it in the 10th, 4-3. 2 teams are tied for first. Pittsburgh beat Seattle 11-1. Seattle, a game above 500, they're comfortably in first. Pittsburgh, 500's in fourth. Dodgers beat the Twins 4-3. Ohtani is 8-2 with a 1.58 ERA. Oh, yeah, he hits as well.
Well,
yes. Mookie Betts is heating up. Awful start to the season. playing like the Hall of Famer he will be. Hit his 300th career home run last night, made some nice plays in the field. Mookie Betts starred for the Dodgers. Did you see apparently Ohtani's a little fed up with their catcher? Apparently Dalton Rushing is their catcher along with Davis, and Rushing doesn't challenge enough pitches for Ohtani's liking. So there was a pitch in the game yesterday, and Ohtani stares at his catcher and takes his pitching hand and pounds the top of his helmet 3 times. And Rushing basically waves him off. And Ohtani takes 2 steps down the mound and pounds his head 3 more times. Rushing doesn't do anything. The home plate umpire walks out and goes, "You want me to challenge it?" Okay, and Ohtani nods, and he turns around, challenges it. It was a strike.
I was going to say, what does he need the catcher for? He can. I mean, they obviously have an agreement that the catcher's going to do it, but Ohtani can challenge it.
Yes, he can. Marlins took 2 of 3 from the Rangers. They beat Texas 4-2, scored 2 in the 8th to win it. They beat Jacob deGrom along the way. They're 3 games above 500, the Marlins.
Yeah, they are 3 games above 500, and they are only, I believe, a game and a half back of the wild card right now, which the Cubs hold.
So there you have it. All right. Padres swept the Braves 5-2 the final. I think it's the first time the Braves were swept this year.
It is, and the Phillies are now just 4.5 back for what it's worth.
How about that? San Diego, by the way, a game ahead of the Marlins for a playoff spot. Phils, how about this? With all the dramatic guys they have who could hit a home run, Derek Hill, 2 out, 2 on, top of the 9th. Pinch hit, home run to win it, 5-4. Phillies over the Nats, just 4.5 back, as Mark mentioned. Cubs scored 10 runs in both games, thanks in large part to Dansby Swanson. He had 2 homers and 11 RBIs in the doubleheader. 2 homers, 7 RBIs in the first game, 4 RBIs in the second. He's responsible for 11 of their 20 runs. Cubs 10-3 and 10-5 over the Mets. They're now tied for second and the final wild card in the National League.
Didn't they change the team, David, to be a better defensive team? Weren't a lot of these moves made to be a better defensive team?
Oh, you're talking about the Mets.
I'm talking about the Mets.
Right.
Who up all those runs,
Right.
and the infield committed 6 errors over the 2 games.
And they committed all 6 of those errors in one game.
Okay.
And by the way, Mark, they've lost 5 in a row, and I believe in those 5 games they've given up 54 runs. Yes, but the moves they made in the offseason, getting rid of the guys who hit home runs, they did it to get guys who could catch the ball, which sounds good in theory if you have guys who can pitch the ball. But, apparently that's next offseason. Milwaukee sweeps the Reds. Have you seen the Reds' division record? Oh, my goodness. They're like 15 games above 500 against the entire rest of Major League Baseball. And they're like 20 games below 500 against the National League Central. It's unreal how bad their division record is.
It needs to be a problem because you play more division games than you do everything else.
Well, yes. Yes. How are you going to make the playoffs?
Right. When your whole division is basically above 500. Yes, that I can see where that would be a problem.
Brewers lead the Cardinals and Cubs by 7 each in the division. Arizona beat the Cardinals 9-4 thanks to a 6-run fourth. And the Giants trailed 1-0 going to the 9th and hit 2 solo homers to beat the A's 2-1. That keeps the A's 2.5 back in the AL West. Yesterday was day 2, which meant round 2 of the NBA draft. Heat traded up for Louisville guard Ryan Conwell. Orlando ends up with South Florida forward Isaiah Nelson. Lakers sign Austin Reeves. 4 years, $185 million. See, we talked about this about 5 years ago, which where the salary cap was going. And we said, listen, the best players in the game getting paid $60 million. Believe it or not, that's not going to freak people out. It's when the third best player on the team is making $45 million a year. That's what is going to freak the fans out. Okay. Now, maybe Austin Reeves is going to be the second best player on the Lakers going forward. But right now he's the third, and he's scheduled to make 46 and a quarter a year going forward. That's difficult for the average fan to digest. It just is. By the way, the Pistons with an interesting move. I mean, $10 million a year. They couldn't keep Isaiah Stewart in the fold for 2 more years. He was a quality big man. You know, gave you your 10 points, 6 rebounds coming off the bench. Was part of their whole toughness thing. They traded him to Memphis for 3 second-round picks. Boy, that seems like a good deal for Memphis. For what it's worth, a lot of people liked what the Memphis Grizzlies did in the draft. You know, like I said, for what it's worth. NHL, the draft is tomorrow, the first round of it anyway. The big deals continue. Boy, have the Sabres been active. Their most successful season in 15 years. They acquired the 4th overall pick, but then they just traded away Alex Tuck. He goes to the Caps for a player and a pick, and the Caps immediately signed Tuck to 8 years, 8.5 per.
Well, it was a sign and trade, so it was done before that. And it's the same thing happened with Radish. I actually give both Buffalo and Tampa credit. These are players they were going to lose in free agency. They get something for them, guys that they couldn't afford. I mean, Tuck is now the most expensive player on the Capitals roster. Buffalo couldn't afford that number.
Correct.
And so they get something for it. And now they've got that 4th pick. You know, I was talking with a friend last night that's way into the league, and he's like, maybe Buffalo could make a play for Larkin. I'm like, they got that 4th pick. Who knows?
Ottawa traded the 9th overall pick that they got from Florida by trading away Kachuk. They sent that pick to San Jose to get William Eklund. He signed for 3 more years. Golf, PGA Tours in Connecticut, the Travelers Championship. Keegan Bradley has won it 2 of the last 3 years. It's a signature event. LPGA Tour, they're in Minnesota at famed Hazeltine. They're playing a major this week. It's essentially their LPGA Championship. Nelly Korda's going for her 3rd straight major win. Will anybody pay attention if she wins the first 3 majors of the year? And it's 7 minutes before the hour. That was the starting 5 big stories you needed to know here on Miller and Moulton.
My quick answer to that question is probably not.
I know.
Probably not. You know what? I may find out Monday morning if she won. Miller and Moulton, Pat Kirwan in a little more than an hour. Thanks so much for listening.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
No!
This summer, there's only one place to experience the roar of the World Cup at the British Open Pub in Bonita Springs, your World Cup headquarters, where the team is bringing every match live, full sound on every TV across the patio, with daily food and drink specials from the opening match on June 11th through the final on July 19th. Catch the electric atmosphere for every England and USA match and all the matches in between at the British Open Pub, Bonita Springs, at the shops of Pelican Landing, where the World Cup comes alive.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Good morning, Big OC. Drutharian, welcome. Pretty much. Pretty much. I don't know about napping per se, but definitely putting his feet up. There we go. How long do you go for, Big OC? Good man if you're walking outside. It's damn hot.
Is it timing or distance?
I think it's always time, but distance is good too. Don't know who I'm going to listen to today. Haven't looked through Bud's list. Might be Texas A&M. That's the only question. And I think they got to make it one past there. I think they make it through 32 without a problem. If they don't make it through 32, it would be a month. I mean, if they play Bosnia Herzegovina or whatever they are,
Yeah.
they better win that.
Well, and that would get them to 16. So
But they've got to win. For this to be successful, they get to 8. Good for you, Big OC. That's awesome.
Wow.
Since I got back from Tampa, I can't do the outside. So I just do, what is it about? It ends up being like 2 1/3 at a 5% incline. I do that for 30 minutes for 2 miles, and then I kind of pace it down. I don't know if I'll see any of the game tonight, Jules. It's a meaningless game,
Right.
and it starts at 10.
I'm most curious about who plays.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Thursday, the final one of the month. Thanks so much for being with us. Pat Kirwan in an hour, Jorge Solana in 2 hours. Talk a little Heat, little soccer while we're at it. Got so much going on in the sports world. Just remarkable. Just remarkable. Now, obviously, there'll be a little less going on next year because there won't be a World Cup. But I don't know. The sports world just seems to get more and more interesting, at least to us, which is good for us because we do sports talk for a living. But I think also, Mark, I think the audience is also now more intrigued by more sports, by more items within sports to talk about. You know, do you hear what Keegan Bradley had to say yesterday?
I did not. I will say, yeah, you know, with you back and me not doing the starting 5, some of the minutia, like the PGA Tour, slips, particularly on Wednesday, because that's the day during the week that I play golf. So I am not diving into X all day long. Like when I'm sitting watching the World Cup, I mean, the soccer doesn't move fast enough. You can read, you can check things, you can find out what's going on. Hell, they have hydration breaks.
Yeah. Okay, I have a feeling this is going to be the last World Cup for that.
No way. They're here to stay.
Really?
Absolutely.
Do you think because of Fox?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But the players hate it.
I don't care.
Okay.
What is this?
It's a TV show.
Who's paying for it?
But they never had chances for years to have hydration breaks. They didn't give a damn until Qatar, until they thought that somebody actually had a chance to drop dead, during the match. Okay, for whatever reason, they kept it for this time around. I mean, I know it's been a hot summer and all, global warming, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, I was surprised when they kept it. But apparently the players hate it. Coaches don't like it. They're all like, it's not part of the sport. It breaks our rhythm.
No, it's not part of the sport, but you know what? All sports change.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, back to Keegan Bradley. If you don't know Keegan's background, he's 40. He was our Ryder Cup captain last time around. It didn't go so well. But he's been a good player. Won a major, the PGA Championships, got about 10 other career wins. And he's a New Englander. And that's important because I think where you're from influences your thoughts on fandom and how a fan base can act. So Keegan is asked yesterday, because he's the defending champion at the Travelers Championship, he's asked about, hey, what'd you think happened to Wyndham at the U.S. Open? He said, well, I was surprised. I mean, an American who's also won it before. And then he quickly said, however, Scottie Scheffler's pretty popular, and he was going for the career Grand Slam. He said, and guys, golf is hot right now. He said, we're appealing to non-golf fans. We're appealing to people we only appealed to for a short time under Tiger. We're appealing to sports fans now. And he said, so we're going to get different people at our events going forward. Okay, Keegan goes, I actually think some of this stuff is a good thing. He goes, the Ryder Cup was out of hand. He goes, it was. You throw the flag on top of drunken hooliganism. He goes, that's a bad combination. But Mark, I thought that was an interesting point in which he said, it's funny. You're a sport that for 30, 40 years wants more than the golf fan to pay attention to you. Well, guess what? This is how football fans act. This is how baseball fans act. You want these people to care. They start to care, and you're getting all upset with them. He goes, I think he all but said, I think we're going to have to learn to accept some of this stuff going forward and embrace it.
Well, I respectfully disagree with Keegan.
Okay.
Because it doesn't happen everywhere.
No.
It seems to happen in one part of the world.
Long Island right now.
Well, I mean, and they, some of the USA chants happened in Florida as well, I think, but that was, that was New York South. So, well, correct me if I'm misspeaking at all about where, so there's a limit to it. And he, by what you just told me of what he said, he's accepting it is also accepting the timing of it. I mean, they're after people before the shot, after the shot, damn near during the shot. So I get that they were rooting for Scheffler. When he made the birdie putt, Wyndham Clark, that is, made the birdie putt on 16, Scotty Scheffler was long out of the tournament. Scotty Scheffler had no chance to win the U.S. Open on the 16th green.
By the way, very nice act of sportsmanship from Scotty. I don't know if you saw it. Okay, Wyndham makes that 30-footer for birdie, and Scotty turns around and gives him a thumbs up and a partial clap like, hey, hell of a putt.
Well, he was the only one because the crowd didn't make a noise.
No, it was all of a sudden like Wyndham walked into the library like, oh, did I forget my card?
And, I don't like it as a longtime golf fan and a longtime golfer. I get what Keegan is saying, that new people are coming to the sport. And I also get that there have been a lot of new people that have come to golf. I mean, golf hit a home run during COVID.
Yes.
No sport benefited more than golf from the COVID times. I mean, no sport. The amount of people playing, the country club memberships, it has blossomed in ways that no other sport experienced.
Well, and that's the key. I mean, people bring up, well, golf did really well under Tiger. Yeah, there was not a single round more played in the U.S. during the height of his fame than there was before Tiger when Greg Norman was the number one golfer in the world. Okay. Tiger didn't increase the number of rounds of golf that got played in America. You know what did? COVID.
Yep.
By a huge margin. And fortunately, those people, Mark, and you're a member of a golf club. A lot of those people who took up golf because they wanted to get outside and do something and couldn't find anything else to do have stayed with the game.
They have. And so golf is doing very well. Yes. It is.
Yep.
Country club memberships across the country are doing fantastically well.
Tour golf ratings are up 10 to 20%.
Well because they're charging a boat. Just seeing the prices, they just put out Golf Week, I think, put out the top private courses in Florida, every state. What is it? Shadow Creek in Vegas, the big course there. They get like $1,250 for a round of golf now. Are you high? So, I mean, Sawgrass in Jacksonville, I think, is the priciest public course in the state of Florida. What they get for 18 holes is ridiculous. I'd love to play Sawgrass. It ain't going to happen, not for those prices. I mean, after all, it's still Florida golf. How different is it than any other course? To me, outside of Stream Song, we've only got, and the rest from a public course, Stream Song's the only one you play where you go, wow, this is not Florida-esque. The rest of them are flat, for crying out loud.
But back to the point about the other thing, which we haven't mentioned, gambling. Okay. It's added to just about every sport's popularity, even if it's just a small ad. Okay. That's another quote unquote fan base that has come to the sport. You now have the gambler. So you don't think golf has a problem outside of New York? That this is a New York sports fan problem and this doesn't really exist anywhere else?
Look, we won't know until next year's PGA and US Open because it's not happening across the pond. They don't act this way. They don't boo players. They are the most respectful golf fans in the world. So we're not going to see it at the British Open. So I don't know how to let you know if this is an ongoing thing, because let's be truthful. Outside of the majors, fans don't care who wins by and large.
True.
I mean, they've had a little fun with the USA thing, and that was not I don't think that was as venomous. That seemed to be a little more fun-natured. This was venomous. They didn't like Wyndham Clark, and I give him credit for holding on. I also give him credit for how he acted after. And he's a Baker Mayfield fan now. He's flipped on that. By the way, Wyndham, let me just explain this to you really quickly. For those of you that don't know, apparently Baker Mayfield back in the college days stole Wyndham's girlfriend from him. Scholarship golfer who very well could be a millionaire. Quarterback.
Right.
I'm going to repeat that for you.
Right.
Quarterback.
Right. The defense rush.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
By the way, quarterback at Oklahoma.
Heisman Trophy winner. Hello.
Right.
Right.
Boomers sooner. You know. Annoying, but a lot of tradition there.
Right. So how much of what Keegan is selling are you buying? 10%, 20%, 30%?
I'm somewhere 25%. I'll buy 25% of it.
Okay. By the way, this is going to turn out to be the best thing in Wyndham Clark's life.
Oh yeah,
honestly, he's going to get endorsement deals out of this.
Well, I mean, he was truthful and honest after, showed some humility, said he got it, goes out and does a few PR things. Literally says when he does the Barstool interview, when he talks about the fact that Baker stole his girlfriend in college, says says he has a PR team. Says my PR team prepped me for everything for this interview, except this. So I'm going to come clean and tell the story. That's terrific.
Yep.
I mean, when you admit you have a PR team and then you say they didn't get you ready for this and you're still going to answer? No, you win there. Miller and Moulton. Pat Kirwan coming up in 45 minutes time.
The Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise. On 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332516.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yeah, skiing is. I read an article a while back because what is it? The Vail Group owns everything now, and so they're controlling all the prices at basically all the ski resorts across the country. It's just ridiculous. I think it's the Vail Group. I could be wrong, Joseph. You would probably know better than I. But talking about, you used to be able to buy, skiers all bought the annual pass, and how expensive those are now.
Your roof.
Yep, it is. My wife said it was like she went to Miami yesterday, was on South Beach with her friend from veterinary school. She said it was just packed with Brazil and Scotland people all day down there. She said it was super cool. I was very jealous. I would have loved to have just been able to go do that scene and drink 600 beers, but someday soon.
Oh, that's who I want to hang with in Vegas. Happy Joy.
Actually, DC, we don't care anymore.
No,
we quit caring a long time ago. I mean, and that's, I mean, you just look at the radio world and how many people own the stations and markets. It's very different than it used to be.
Yeah. The courts decided 20, 30 years ago that we don't care about monopolies anymore. You name the industry. I mean, name it. Insurance, banking, broadcasting, name the industry.
Hell, go back to Carlin's bit. And Carlin's been dead for a while. When Carlin talked about, you think you got choices. You got two parties. You got 4 insurance companies. You got 4 oil companies. I mean, that was a while ago that Carlin did that bit.
Yep.
But you've got, 47 flavors of soda and 118 channels on your cable. Yep, you have freedom. It's the bit was true then, and it's true now. That's why you can't get worked up. You guys that get all worked up about politics, I find it amazing. I understand why it could happen, but we don't have, most of us in the middle don't have a choice. We just don't. It's been
Bill Bennett
paid for.
Bill Bennett, the death of outrage. Now it's all fake internet click talk radio outrage about the stuff that's important. We all stepped aside and let it happen. And now that's why we're screwed. Because they're bought and paid for, and we're the ones that got to pay for it.
Did see a video, and again, you don't know how much to buy it, but some guy said he's a finance guy. It rated like the most expensive grocery stores. And, Whole Foods was 1, and Fresh Market was 2, and Sprouts was 3, but Publix was 4. And he's like, "Hey, look, I ain't going after the pub sub. I get it's an institution, but they charge 25% more than the." I'm like, yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Pat Kirwan will at the top of the hour on this, the final Thursday of the month. Can I ask you a couple of quick questions?
Yes.
All right. Have you watched any WNBA this year?
No.
Okay. And I asked because, first of all, they had the lockout strike, and, and I'm just curious because this league, the first 2 years of Kate and Clark being in it, got a lot of publicity, a lot of promotion. A lot of people turned it on for 10, 12 minutes who had never turned it on before. Well, now that they got paid, I'm just curious if anybody's watching. I watched a decent amount of a game over the weekend because it's our buddy Carl Semesco, formerly the women's basketball coach at FGCU, who's coaching the Atlanta Dream. And they're one of the best teams in the league, and they were playing Caitlin Clark in Indiana. And so I said, it's early in the afternoon. I think it was on a Saturday. I'm waiting for the soccer. Yeah, all right, I'll give this a first half. Now, Semesco's style of play is very up and down, very wide open. The game was not very physical. But most people, Mark, see, I was turning 14 when Magic and Larry came into the NBA. So you were what, 10, 11?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is a serious question. This is a serious question to those of you who hate the NBA too. Because this is supposedly what I'm bringing up when you watched. This was Magic and Larry and Michael. See, this is when the NBA was great. This is when you watched. Mark, do you remember people going after every single night? Magic, Larry, every night. Every team in the league, every night, going out of their way to target Magic and Larry, and name whoever the hell else you want to name in the NBA at the time.
I don't. I will say, I think I know where you're going, but let me just say this quickly. One, Magic was very unique then, not just the off-court persona. Magic was a 6'8" point guard. It was pretty hard to physically go after a guy who was 6 inches taller and 30, 40 pounds heavier than any other point guard in the sport.
Okay,
so it was difficult to go after him. Right. Larry was just flipping good, okay?
Right. Okay, in hockey, Gretzky was the guy. Okay? Did teams, no matter who, Gretzky's team, Edmonton, LA, what have you, no matter who they put on the ice with him, did they spend their mission that night? And he would play 25 plus minutes a night. Did they make it their mission that night that they were going to target Gretzky and beat the tar out of him every night? And the consequences be damned.
Well, they tried, but one, they couldn't catch him, and two, they had to deal with who was McSorley was at the end before. Well, that was at the end. That was in LA. In Edmonton, he had Semenko. So, the sport policed itself. We played a different style. So, yeah, they did go after Gretzky, but they got their ass kicked for it. There were repercussions. Caitlin's got Sophie Cunningham, but it's not like she can go punch somebody in the mouth.
Okay, but I would argue that while Semenko's serving that 5-minute penalty, okay, for fighting, that Gretzky's going to play 3 of those 5 minutes, and there was no one on the ice to protect him, and yet Gretzky never got hit. Okay, how about quarterbacks? How about today in the NFL? Okay, does the NFL allow you to beat the out of Patrick Mahomes and just name
any quarterback?
Oh, but it doesn't matter. The rules are on the books, but they allow you. Hey, my point is, Mark, they are literally doing stuff to Caitlin Clark that they don't allow done to any other player in the league. And it doesn't matter if at times she's a whiny brat, a complainer. It doesn't matter. Mark, they are beating the blank out of her. Okay, unlike any other player in the league. It's not close what they are allowed to do to her. Okay, by the officials of the league. I don't get it. When's the summit that's going to be held in which they go, do you know how much money we're making because of her? Doesn't matter if you like her or not. Don't care. Okay, what are you doing? This is our golden goose. What are you doing? What are we doing? Mark, the video from the 2 games she's played this week, it's unreal. I mean, this is Bad Boy Pistons playoff series stuff, but it's all directed towards one player. And it's being allowed to happen. I don't get it. How is the league not stepping in and stopping this?
I have a couple of thoughts.
Go.
One, the masses in that league, the players unilaterally don't like her.
Doesn't matter. To me, you're right.
Okay,
you're definitely right.
Then I guess I don't have a point. I'm trying. You told me to give you a couple. I said I got a couple of theories, and the first one you just told me I'm wrong for saying it.
No.
David. I didn't even get 6 words out of my mouth.
Fair enough.
They don't like her. Okay. And I don't think the commissioner likes her. For whatever reason, this commissioner thinks that she's the reason they've gotten a pay raise, not Caitlin Clark. They did not do what David Stern, and I think he was the commissioner when Magic and Bird came in, did not do what David Stern did. David Stern turned that league when Magic and Bird played into individuals. They marketed individuals. They marketed the 2 of them. And then they marketed Michael Jordan for 15 years. The WNBA, for whatever reason, the union, because most of the players don't like her, which means the union can go with the commissioner on what they want. They don't want to make her the face of that league.
You know, a lot of people say it's because she's white.
You're damn right it is. It's because she's white.
So you think if she was black,
yeah.
So you think the league would step in and say, whoa. No.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. And I think the union would be behind it then too.
By the way, I didn't mean to imply that I didn't think you were right. What I meant to say was, see, to me, it wouldn't matter. If I'm running the league, I'd look at all of them and go, I don't care if you hate me because I'm white. I don't care if you hate her because she's white. I don't care if you hate her because she's straight. I really, at this point, I don't care. Okay, but we are physically beating the crap. And they are. Check the video from last night's game. She took an elbow to the throat, and while she was laying on the ground, the person got herself up by keeping her forearm on her trachea and taking her other forearm and elbowing her in the middle of her chest and getting up off the ground. I mean, if I was the coach of the Indiana Fever, we'd have a brawl every night, to make my point. I'd go to the ownership and saying, it's going to be a rough month and it's going to cost us a lot of money, but we got to draw some attention to this because this is asinine.
The WNBA has a Caitlin Clark problem.
Yeah.
They do. They had it last year because they don't know who they want to be. They want to say that the popularity of the sport is because of the sport, not because of one person. The union has decided that. The commissioner has decided that. And for whatever reason, David, the other teams are comfortable with that because apparently she doesn't play for them.
Yeah. I know. I just think it's outrageous. Like, to me, we all know the rules are on the books for quarterbacks, but it would be the NFL looking the other way and allowing one of the star quarterbacks, pick whichever one you want, to just be beaten up every week. And the officials turn and look the other way, and the league turns and looks the other way. And we go, wait a minute, he's a star quarterback. What about the others? Shut up. Get back in the huddle.
And I know some of you say you don't watch, and I don't either. But more people are watching their regular season games than NHL regular season games.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Faro and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Faro and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Faro and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
The Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
This guy put out an article about the worst press box food in the NFL. From 1 to 32.
I'm not being a jerk, David. I've put Caitlin Clark getting bullied, Caitlin Clark getting aggressively fouled. I guess I've got to put last night. I can't find a video. I mean, everything I'm getting is saying it's overhyped, and I'm just telling you what the internet's giving me right now.
Okay. I think it's outrageous. How I don't remember this happening to a guy in any sport. The way she's being treated.
I hear you. You got to bring it here if you want me to throw it to you. I'm not playing this game.
I could hear the meowing or whatever there. That one I heard.
She's 15 feet. He's 15 feet away too. What?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till Pat Kirwan joins us at the top of the hour here on Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Mark, for the record, we were talking about Bird, Magic, and that era, and David Stern. I believe Stern took over right around year 4, because Bird and Magic were drafted in the spring of 79. So their first year in the league was 79-80. And I think David Stern took over from Larry O'Brien as commissioner 83-84 season. Because I think his first NBA Finals was when Bird and Magic won 7. And the league went, oh, wow, this is pretty good for us. Can we get more of this?
Pelican Roofing of Florida text line open. A lot of you commented, to the people saying it's a garbage product. I don't watch enough to comment. Most don't think that. The basketball has never been better. That's all I will say, is that women's basketball has never been played at this level. I don't really want to say it's a garbage product. I think that's being a bit unfair. A few people, though, texting that Wemby kind of gets the same treatment right now, that he's getting played very physically, and he's a young face of the league. Just for what it's worth. I don't know if it's bad, but I definitely think he gets, that's how you defend him. We talked about it openly during the conference finals and the finals. How do you slow Wemby down? You got to hit him. You got to bump him. He's skinny.
Certainly, if you get up in his grill, it's tough to stay with him. He takes a dribble in 2 steps. He's going to cover a lot more ground than you are. But honestly, it just struck me. And obviously, if you listen to the show, whether you like me or not, agree with me or not, I've watched a lot of sports for a long time. And I have found myself recently just asking myself rhetorically, has any athlete in any sport been treated by their own the way this is now year 3? Okay, and it's seemingly getting worse. I mean, this is not one playoff series. This is not a grueling Edmonton Calgary 7-gamer in the 80s. And we could all list our favorite physical rivalries and what have you. But I just think I've never seen this before. Never mind all the implications involved, which to me makes it even more ridiculous that they're allowing this treatment to go on.
So there you have it. I'm not, it's tough for me to get into this conversation because I like Caitlin Clark. It's the only WNBA I will watch.
Right.
But literally, there's been no reason for me to watch the NBA so far this year. I'm not trying to be a smartass.
No.
There's enough sports that I like on a nightly basis. I search for the WNBA when there's nothing else on.
That's why I asked you. Had you watched?
Season. And I'm even watching, but that's, I'm even watching a little bit of baseball. I don't put it on right now. The World Cup has me completely engrossed. Before that, the basketball and hockey playoffs were fantastic. So sports is delivering.
But that was why I asked. They got all this promotion and attention and publicity, and it's why they need to be paid and blah, blah, blah. And they held out, and the season nearly didn't start on time, and they got paid. It's like, oh, okay. And then to me, it's as if the promotion spigot was turned off. Whereas, it was running 24/7 for 2 years. And then the minute they got a labor deal, that nobody's paying attention, talking about it, what have you. Well, they got paid. It's kind of like the NBA. We joked about it. So what happens over the next 9 years? You got a 10-year media contract. You're making almost $3 billion a year in media alone. Do you really need anything else?
I don't think they changed the rules because of it, but someone does point out on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line, going back to Jordan, the Pistons tried to bully him. Mike went to the weight room. I mean, that's a fact.
Yeah, they were tough with him. They were. I'd agree with that. They were.
So, I mean, just people, and the people saying Wemby plays dirty, so he deserves some of the physicality. I don't know, up until he hit Brunson, did we really think Wemby was a dirty player?
No.
I mean, I'd never heard that once, but all of a sudden, and it was a cheap shot on Brunson. He should have gotten a flagrant for it. And at that point, he became dirty. And the New York fans went after him. I mean, hell, they're throwing eggs at him, for crying out loud. So, I do find one thing about the Wemby thing fascinating is that everybody loves to play in the Garden. Everybody. Doesn't matter the team. Been that way for years. Now, when the Knicks if they're going to be good for a while, maybe that won't be the same way. But there were some, years of highly competitive Knick teams. And it didn't take away from Jordan or, Reggie or any of these players. They loved going to play in Madison Square Garden. It's the Mecca.
Yep.
I wonder if Wemby will feel that way. I wonder if he'll have it's still the place where most guys want to play. When you talk to New Yorkers, I was talking with our manager at the country club, who's still just smiling ear to ear from the Knicks win. I mean, couldn't wait to see me to brag about, he knows what I do for a living, and he couldn't wait to find me to talk about the Knicks. This guy's talked to me twice in 10 years. But he's like, man, and he's younger than we are, David, so he's never seen them win, obviously. And, yesterday, We had on Bobby Regan. I didn't realize he was a Knicks fan. What was he wearing? Knicks hat. Said merch is just starting to come in. So will Wemby embrace New York? Because they ain't going to embrace. I mean, he's the new Reggie Miller. Every time he touches it in the Garden, he's getting booed, David. From now until forever, unless they trade for him. I'm telling you right now.
I think it was another really good thing that happened for Wemby in the NBA. Okay? Because to me, I think it's going to increase his popularity. Okay, he went from the guy who only wore the white hat. Everybody loved Wemby. Literally an hour and a half before the finals, Wemby and the Spurs took out Oklahoma City. Everybody was thrilled. Thrilled. Okay, and now all of a sudden they're trying to put the black hat on Wemby?
So I think you're right. And look there's a lot of us out there that aren't Knick fans.
Yes.
A lot of us.
Yes.
I know it seems like the whole world loves the Knicks right now. That's because the media is in New York. By the way, quick sidebar. How dumb is that female fan at the parade that worked for JP Morgan trying to steal a garbage can? I don't know if people have seen this story, and I just give me a couple of seconds here. But they had all the garbage cans painted blue and orange during the parade for the Knicks. I mean, the city went nuts for them, and as well they should have. They deserve all of it. This woman in New York City, there might be a camera or two, dumps the garbage can out to steal a garbage can. First off, it's a public garbage can. What are you going to do with that? I mean, this isn't Dallas, David, where you may have a 3,500 square foot home outside of town. This is New York.
Right.
These people live in apartments. Does anybody know the size of a New York apartment? My mother-in-law had an apartment in New York. Beautiful location. Midtown. It was about 800 square feet.
Exactly.
And it was nice.
Yeah.
I mean, she got a pretty penny for that when she sold it. Doorman, the whole thing. A good place.
Right.
Right by, I think, PJ Clark's was the famous bar restaurant right around the corner, Midtown Manhattan. This was a prime location.
Right.
You could visit that apartment with two people. Not
Right.
four, not three, two. So needless to say, the video of the woman stealing the garbage cans put out. Her face is all over it. She worked for JP Morgan and she was some sort of executive. She's already lost her job for stealing a garbage can. You moron.
I have to admit, I don't know if I'd fire her for stealing the garbage can because her fandom of the Knicks went crazy. I mean,
no, I wouldn't steal her for that. I'd steal her for being an idiot. I'd fire her for that. I'm sorry, not steal her. I wouldn't steal her. I wouldn't want her near me. I'd fire her for being an idiot. Like, you can't work for my company anymore.
You're too stupid.
Yes.
Okay. All right. See, once again, sure it can't be a mulligan. Sure that can't be a suspension, couple days unpaid, but I get it. I think, by the way, as somebody who has stolen a few things in his life, okay, I think you can go traffic cone. Tough to go bigger and bulkier than a traffic cone.
I did steal the barricade. I did take a barricade with the lighted.
Oh, okay.
Thing. I had one of those, and when I would have party, and again, I did this when I was in high school,
right?
Not when I was working for a corporation in my 30s.
Correct.
And I would use it to block off part of my home when I would have parties, so people couldn't come through.
Right. It's spectacular, by the way. But also, it was 40 years ago. Our phones didn't double as cameras, and right.
Yeah.
Right.
And the city didn't have cameras on every corner. So. But I couldn't help it. That story hasn't gone away, and it's and David turned me onto the post, so that's partly his fault for me doing this.
Well, right, because let me tell you, when they get their teeth into a story, that's 5 days minimum. Just ask Diana Rossini. They started it. Oh, they were not going to let up on that sucker.
No, they were not. And the I guess the Athletic just released their story. I kind of read the Cliff Notes this morning, so that'll be in the news for the next couple of days as well. But yes, I think you're right. I think Wemby becomes more popular because of the final, except in New York, where I believe he will get booed every time he touches the ball all of next year. We'll see beyond that. But I certainly, because they only come once, right?
I was going to say, I think it's a home and home for
Yeah.
the year. That's it. But yeah, it was a perfect finals for the NBA. The only thing they would have wanted was for it to go a little longer. Otherwise, it was perfect. We got Wemby in there instead of OKC, got New York in there because of the obvious storyline. And then it's better for the league if the Knicks won.
Oh, and it's better for the league that the Spurs played, not OKC. Wemby is more interesting than SGA, and it's not close.
Yes. This group of Spurs basketball and players, I think, who won't be as good, but I think we as a sports viewing public are going to find them more interesting than the Tony Parker, Tim Duncan-led Spurs dynasty of 20 plus years ago.
Right, who won their first title today in 1999, beating the Knicks in 5, ironically. Final score of that game, 78-77.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
yeah, some of the Bulls, Jazz, Bulls, Pacers, Knicks,
Spurs,
name it. I mean, some of those final scores are unbelievable that we were watching in droves, and the final of Game 7 was 81-74. I mean, didn't the Spurs have that at the half of a game they lost in the finals?
Exactly. I mean, they want offense is more fun. Why is that? To throw it all back to the World Cup. Why has this World Cup been particularly entertaining? There have been a lot of goals. And, you mentioned you thought the hydration breaks and snack time for the players is going to go away. The president of FIFA said, no. It makes the matches better. Players are more rested. I mean, look, we know it's a corrupt organization, but the president of that organization is in favor of hydration breaks. This is an organization that likes getting paid off. Well, commercials help pay people off.
Well, there's no doubt, whether it's Fox or anybody else, they love this stuff. I mean, that is literally, and they're not taking the full 3 minutes of commercials. Like Fox is only using up 90 to 120 seconds of the 3 minutes. If this is going to become a thing, oh, you wait. They're going to sell 310 of the 3 minutes.
Now, if they put it in the Premier League, there could be a revolt. That's all I'm saying. I think we'll see this once every 4 years. They may add it to the Olympics, but I can't see it happening in the Premier League. We premiered Pat Kirwan, 15, 18 years ago? He's been doing this a long damn time.
At least David Stern was still commissioner of the NBA.
And Pat Kirwan's been coming on Miller Moulton for a long time, and he's next.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 239-444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
No!
This summer, there's only one place to experience the roar of the World Cup at the British Open Pub in Bonita Springs, your World Cup headquarters, where the team is bringing every match live, full sound on every TV across the patio with daily food and drink specials from the opening match on June 11th through the final on July 19th. Catch the electric atmosphere for every England and USA match and all the matches in between at the British Open Pub, Bonita Springs, at the shops of Pelican Landing, where the World Cup comes alive.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, fellas. How's everyone doing?
Doing well, you?
I am doing quite well. All good.
It's hot down here, Pat.
Yeah.
It is hot.
I drove down from the lake this morning. I have things to do, but I knew we were going to talk about temperature. So when I walked out to my car this morning, it was 48.
Oh, my. Well, and I forgot to call him back. I was up in Clearwater over the weekend we had a little mini vacation, if you will. And I got a call from my next door neighbor. I got to call him back, but he's in Michigan and he's like, it's 46. And he's in Detroit. He's not in northern Michigan.
Yeah.
It's like it's 46 degrees this morning. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. And it's great though, because it heats up to 80. It's beautiful. But yeah, I went out there this morning going, yeah, I think I looked in the car and it turned the temperature on and outside. I go, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Our golf pro I was talking to him yesterday, and he's going up to Minnesota. He's got two young kids, and he's going up to basically like the Canadian border of Minnesota to some camp. He's going with the brother-in-law and sister-in-law, he said, and they set it up. It's like fishing, and he's like, the temperatures are like 75 and 55. I'm like, oh, I'm jealous. Good for you.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of nowhere. He goes, I'm checking out for a week. I'm like, that is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. It's the growing season. I'm telling you, cool nights and hot days. You're cutting your lawn every 3 days up here.
Yes. I don't miss that.
No.
We had a reasonably big yard, and I never mind cutting the grass. It was the trimming.
Yeah.
Weed whacker. That we had a not a chain link fence, but a split rail fence around the house, and every one of those damn posts. God, I hated that as a kid.
Oh, I did that yesterday. We have a kind of it looks like an invisible fence up against a whole row of bushes to keep the deer from coming in all the time.
Right.
And it's working. The problem is, to your point, when I went to trim the top of the bushes are growing through. They're growing through the mesh. And you talk about hard to trim those, because if the blade on that electric thing catches it, you got another problem going on.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. Thanks for the memory. It was only 24 hours old. Oh, good morning, David.
Hey, man.
Your voice sounds really good today.
Yeah. A medication adjustment, and I might have found something that's working when it concerns that.
Well, I saw you drinking water, and that wasn't Diet Coke, so I like that too.
Here's my protein shake.
Oh, God.
But at least it's chocolate.
That's right. Yesterday, this is right up your alley, Mark. Yesterday, I started the show with things that won't go away except on this show. The following things are not being discussed anymore. Lists, number one. The top 10 teams that play with a left-handed quarterback. No lists. Number two, no more talk about grass fields. Keep the damn things here when the soccer guys leave. Number three, Sorsby. Just go to Canada and shut up. Number four, cut Ayuk now. I can't take it anymore. I kept going. The Chicago Bears Stadium. If that doesn't, it's 100 times a day. Rossini and Vrabel, let it go, please. And finally, just give the 49ers a practice field with that electric grid somewhere. Will you please? These stories are like, this is the torture of June. We have to deal with those subjects.
Yep. Well, we've said it a lot. Here we go. But it's a rest season, Pat. We had one of those too.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
We are halfway home on this Thursday, at least in Tampa Bay and Jacksonville and a few other places. Final hour of the show, however, Live Oak Lake City, Southwest Florida, Port Charlotte, Venice, and surrounding areas. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. He's Pat Kirwan. Joins us twice a week during the season, a couple months during the spring and summer. He joins us once a week. We do it on Thursdays at this hour. Pat, NFL Radio moving the chains, weekdays 3 to 6. And Pat, brought to us courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, all points in between. Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Good to hear your voices, fellas. And it is June. It is kind of a slow time, but there's a really good time to catch up on rosters and things like that. I was kind of amazed with this kid Benson over in. We talk about Kansas City's offensive tackle woes for the last 5 years, maybe longer. Now the kid who didn't get invited to the combine, who didn't get drafted, who went to college for 6 years, may be in contention to start at tackle. If I'm Mahomes, I'm waiting to fix the tag. I'm not going out there behind these tackles. He's going to get hurt again.
Well, before we started, Pat, you said on your show you had a list of lists you're not going to do. One of the things I love that you guys do on your show, and I'm hoping it will continue with your new co-host Jacob Hester, is the lists that you guys do when you start breaking down position groups and ranking, the best O lines and the best D lines. How far away are we from that? Because there's a college guy that I love that does summer school. And he goes with a beat reporter for each of the teams, basically every Power 4 team, and gives you a good little breakdown of each team. It's my treadmill listening. I need my NFL listening, Pat. When are we going to start getting those?
Well, the problem was we start to do them all the position groups. You have to start early. And when you start early, you don't have a defined roster yet. So what do you land up doing? You land up from August 1st. You're on the road and callers are going, hey, they signed 2 other linemen. Does that change their grade? Yeah, that changed their grade. Hey, this guy retired. So I just said to Jake, I said, let's get through this first year. We're talking about it in an unstructured way. We're going to get to the offensive line next week, which is always important. We've done the quarterbacks and depth of that stuff. So the offensive line, but we're not going to get them all done because it compounds the work. And that's the part. You get home from the camp tour, you got 2 weeks before the opener and you're correcting every position group. So I said, I don't want to put you through it, Jake. We'll figure out some other way to do this.
This is not a Sorsby specific question. It's just for someone who could be in his shoes and people who have already been in his shoes. Last week, I asked you, play front office exec again, what's the better scenario? If he could be associated with a team, but yet be suspended for the year. He's not getting paid. He's not playing, but he's around the team. He's got a support system, etc. Is that better for the league / individual than doing it this way, because clearly the league didn't want any part of him this year. We, the three of us, agreed with that. But unfortunately, the league, if they didn't get rid of the draft, okay, then he would have been a part of the league and practicing, and they didn't want him being talked about, seen on the sideline. I'm just wondering, is there a way going forward for the league to offer somebody else who may have a legitimate problem support, yet he's not on the field?
Well, by canceling the supplemental draft, he never became a member of the NFL.
Right.
A la the NFLPA can't get involved in defending him.
Right.
So that worked out fine for the league. And here's what I've said about him. You, Mr. Sorsby, you need to stop having agents and attorneys lead your life right now. You just need to disappear, in the sense, go to Canada and play football, go get some mentors, Drew Brees, I don't care who they are, and start working out with those guys and start preparing yourself for a draft that's 10 months away. And maybe aim for the Senior Bowl. Go to the Senior Bowl. You're in that draft class now. What an opportunity for him to showcase himself in front of everybody and take all those interviews, because they weren't going to get to all the research they'd have to do with him and club satisfaction. We talked about it last week. If you're going to spend basically 12 months getting ready for a draft, how can you spend 12 minutes getting ready for him? So I think it worked out the best for the league. He did the bad thing. And I know the agenda of some of the people that want to talk for him. He needs to talk for himself and put himself back in a football position. But to your point, the one thing I say right away is there's never two cases the exact same. And they keep citing other players that were suspended for a while and played, or guys that weren't suspended. So they want to make them all the same case. This is not how the league saw this case. So, Mr. Sorsby, you should have gone into the spring draft. You played at Cincinnati. You played well enough, but I said this last week. I went back and looked at guys I respect, preseason evaluation of the quarterback position for the draft, and he was not in the top 20. So everybody chill out on who he was. And I won't mention his name. Good guy, but he thought he was a late first rounder. I know for a fact he couldn't have watched anything. And he's not a decision maker in the league, but Sorsby's going to go late in the first. No, he's not. And of course he didn't go at all. And I think it's better off the way it is. But if I'm him, I would disappear and start grinding away at football. And the three of us know plenty of guys that went to Canada and invented their careers. Warren Moon, Doug Flutie, all those things have happened. That's where he should head if they want him. And there's a couple of quarterback situations up there already. The season started. So what? You don't think he can pick up the game? He doesn't have to play right now. So that's what if he was my son, I'd say, okay, you fought the battle. You lost. Go get ready to be an NFL quarterback.
All right. Another completely different battle about to happen. And that's Terrion Arnold, who was arrested. And it's a kidnapping charge. And literally in the announcement, they said he could face life in prison. Now, it comes after the two other people that were arrested had apparently taken plea deals. Neither here nor there. This is a start. Just help me from a football standpoint. I'm not going to worry about the rest of the BS, but it's there. So what do the Lions do now? This guy's been arrested. He's going to, he's not going to go to jail now. There's going to be a trial. He's going to get bonded out. He's their starting corner. Is this something, we're June 24 when he was arrested. Is this something the league's going to do before the start of the season? Would you anticipate him playing? What do you do? If you're in the front office of Detroit, what are you doing right now?
Well, you can go to your emergency list and try to find a corner. Good luck with that. Part of this is going to be, when do they finally go to court? When do they have a trial? I think between the three of us, we could count 100, and Dave is better at this than both of us. The trial's been postponed till March. these things happen and all of a sudden the guy plays this season pending, and then the league says we're not going to do anything until we see where this is all headed. So it could go down that road. Not so sure it is, but it could go down that road. People sound like they're in Hillsborough County. They want to keep him in jail, which they're not going to be able to. I agree with you, Mark. But you have to either think about a trade, and I don't know that anybody's ready to do that, but if you go through all the cornerback list and the safety list, you might be able to find someone that might have budgetary issues. And the profile now for a tradable player is a guy heading into the last year of his contract. You don't want to franchise tag him, and you can't get a deal done with him. Those kind of guys are out there, and they're headaches. And the club starts thinking about, we can only get something for him now. By the end of the season, he'll be free. So let's go get what we can get. Now, you might have a guy like that out there. And all we have to do is pay attention to who's complaining about their deal or their lack of a deal, and maybe you can approach them.
Is it fair to question taking the offensive tackle then in the first round when they passed on Thienem in the safety, when they passed on, who was it, the guy the Dolphins took, Chris Johnson, the corner from San Diego State? I mean, they had to know something about something. No, I mean, Mark, the timeline.
Yeah,
with the other
they had to know something about something. And I mean, right now I'm looking at their depth chart. Their backup corner at that position is a guy they took in the 5th round this year.
I mean, it is fair. I know Brad Holmes has done a hell of a job, but man, oh man, you had a potential major problem looming, and you took the kid from Clemson, who I think, quite frankly, is not as good a player as the other two guys I mentioned.
Well, it is an interesting question. Why did they do what they did? So they have to balance. I wonder if Arnold's going to be here with their offensive line is not what it used to be. And we discussed that. The center's gone, a tackle's gone. They've let guys go. So that was their backbone, which is not right now. So I understand why they took the tackle, but I also think they kind of thought that this was not going to be an issue for him. You can't sit there and say, well, we know he's going to go to jail and maybe to prison for life, so we'll take a court. No, I think they thought they're experts, they're security guys, because that's what happens. We all had security guys. Those guys start going down there and start talking to people and find out, and I'm sure they felt that they were going to get him out of this. Now, he's not out. He might be out of it. Let's just not condemn him yet, but I think he's got a real big problem, but I don't think they knew that when the draft was going on.
Certainly going to be interesting because their defense has been decimated by injuries the past couple of years. They drafted an edge rusher in the 2nd round. He's expected to start. The tackle, like you mentioned, expected to start. 60% of that line's changed, and now with Sewell going to the other side, really 80% different than 3 years ago. You got Ratledge and Sewell that are left out of 5 guys on that line. He's Pat Kirwan, and he joins us once a week during the offseason, twice a week during the regular season. And Pat's appearances, as always, are brought to you by Pinchers with Tampa, from locations from Tampa to Key West. Pinchers, where you cannot fake fresh. Another segment with Pat coming up on the other side. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Pat, you need to add one thing to your list you didn't mention before the show. You are not talking about the Kelsey Taylor Swift wedding.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I will correct that at 3:01 today. Yeah, that is an absolute.
I caught the back end of your interview with Pereira. Maybe just the last, probably the last 4 or 5 minutes. I thought he was funny in what he said, but I did think the whole getting young refs to the UFL thing was a great point by him.
Well, I said, why? His question to him was, why would you take a ref from the MAC as an example and hand him an NFL job? If he wants to be in the NFL, now you send him to the UFL from the MAC.
Right.
And you get trained by Mike Pereira and those guys. And he said, we've already started moving guys in there. I think the relationship and I've talked to Anthony Beck about it too, because he's the most notable head coach in that league. And they are really cooperating with the league. And he also told me that the NFL special teams coaches spend a lot of time with them. They kind of like to use the UFL as a laboratory. Hey, would you guys try this? And they're looking at things. So I think I don't think it's ever going to be a league they're going to buy, but I did say it's a league that they should have an open relationship with where they're going to. And then they're going to send officials down to that league.
Well, and Pat, it's like I get upset, and you've trained me, and I've changed my mind on NFL and rookie coaches. I get why most don't work. But in sports like hockey, it always pisses me off when a Mike Babcock gets another job and Pete Laviolette gets another job, and it's like his 7th job. It's like, okay. But the difference between hockey and football is there is no minor league to coach the NFL. Hockey, you can coach in the ECHL, in the AHL, and be a head coach and learn how to be a head coach. So I think it's vastly different. But for years, Pat, the league I was in, the league the Everblades are in, the NHL would say, how about doing this? We want to see about this rule. And they would add things into the minor leagues to see how they worked. Baseball does it. Football doesn't have that. Now they do with the UFL. It makes all the sense in the world.
Yep. There's a budding relationship on a number of levels. And look, I made a bet with Jake that there'd be 30 UFL players signed before we go to camp. And we had 23, and then we had 6 workouts, and no one signed the 2 kickers yet. Both of those guys were bombing 60+ all the time. So we're going to get to 30, and that's another nice piece to it. Why? And by the way, all those college. So who are they up against? When people, why are they signing those guys? Well, they just played live football. Most of them were in an NFL camp before, and they're up against the college free agents that you signed a wave of them just to fill out your roster. You can let those guys go in a minute's notice and put these guys on. So they're doing it.
I mean, like back to Detroit in the corner. Why not grab a guy out of the UFL? If he can't play, you cut him. Who cares? I think
they signed 4 guys. So I got to go look at who they signed, but they did sign 4 guys as of 2 days ago. They might be up to 5 by now. But you listen to Anthony talk about it. And Anthony is the voice of the Jets. He's played a long time. I've known him since he was at West Virginia.
Yeah, we've had him on the show a million times.
He's a great guy, but he also said they're still missing on 10 more guys. And he goes, in this league, we all know each other's players. They're all right together. They work out together. They're all there. It's kind of like we had him on with Todd Haley. This is funny. Todd calls in as the guest to talk with him. Todd's on our show. Anthony calls in as the guest. They're in offices right next to each other. And he was calling like, Anthony, how have you been? Not bad, Todd. How are you doing? We're literally 5 feet apart. Yeah, that's an opportunity. Look, I love the UFL. I loved NFL Europe. One guy said to me once, he goes, well, I don't know if I want to go because I don't want to get injured. And I said, here's how this works. If you don't go, we're going to cut you because you're not good enough as is. we hope the league makes you better. So it's worth the risk.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
Our remaining moments with Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio's Moving the Chains, weekdays 3 to 6. Couple months. We'll be heading to New York for CBS's NFL Today show. Pat joining us courtesy of Pinchers. Tampa to Key West, all points in between. Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. And Pat, before Mark throws a question or two out at you, I mean, it's tough to keep track of whether or not these guys are still available, but Trayvon Diggs, I don't think is latched on anywhere. Remember the Colts DB, Kenny Moore, who got let go? He's an 8-year veteran. He's about 30. I mean, is he in anybody's camp yet, or is he still available?
He's available. Harrison Smith's available.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a slow foot safety, but I understand. I just think if you're Detroit, I mean, these have got to be some of the guys on the index card this morning, right?
Yes. Now, you like being the GM. A lot of guys that are still available are waiting for money, and I don't think Detroit's paying any money to these guys. Not when the Giants brought in 3 guys on the vet minimum. One of them was named Odell Beckham with no signing bonus. So they're going to want a guy to come back and play for a year, and they're going to want to do it on the cheap. And they might throw something at him, but it won't be a lot. And if they're waiting, then I think they'll pass. So as soon as the agent goes, no, we're going to wait for a major injury. Well, this is a major injury. I'll save Mark the breath of saying that. This is no different than a major injury, right?
None at all. It might be worse because you come back from an injury. If this turns out to be true, he ain't coming back.
That's true. And sometimes they don't come back from those Achilles either. So I'll just say,
yep.
In the case of this, but there are some guys, and I would not, honestly, I wouldn't restrict myself to someone, well, he's old. This is getting you through to next year's draft. Or, as I said, start looking around for the guys that are looking for a big contract. All you have to do is you can look up anyone in the last year of his contract. That's a good player. And presume that the club doesn't want to re-sign him. Those guys you can get because the club's thinking that now or never. We don't trade him now, we're not going to get anything for him. And especially if they drafted one in the first, second, or third round who's behind an older guy who's looking for money. And you can sort that out as a profile, and you can find yourself 5 guys that you call the GMs and say, you know what our situation is? What do you want for Johnny boy? Then you're off to the races.
Pat found an interesting comment from the new Browns head coach about his former quarterback. Apparently, Todd Moulton was just glowing about Lamar Jackson. There's an article that was out, couldn't say enough good things about him as a person, said he wouldn't have got the job without being Lamar's coach. And he said, I told Lamar that when he sent me a congratulatory text after I got the job. What I found hysterical was after the congratulatory text, he said to Lamar, go blank yourself. We're going to blitz you every third down. Is that a good strategy for defending Lamar Jackson? Did he give a tell to the rest of the league, or is that something we already knew?
Or maybe he has no intention of blitzing at all, but he's going to force it. It doesn't hurt to throw out something you're not going to do and confirm you think you're doing it. So it's just fun to talk like that. But look, nobody knew Lamar better than Todd Monken for the last year or so, and he knows where there are things you should take advantage of. But I'm sure when he says something like that, it's tongue in cheek, and he's not really thinking about doing it all the time, because boy, if you're wrong, when you blitz a guy, there's one less guy back there, and if he gets through the line of scrimmage, there's no one going to catch him. So I think Todd has no intention of blitzing him, but I think what he wants to do is keep him in the pocket and make him beat you with his arm. That'd be my style of thinking.
Mark and I kicked this around a few weeks ago. Why does the league care when the Bears decide on where they're going to play? I mean, obviously they care about where, but why is the NFL pressuring Warren in Chicago to, hey, make a decision, and we need it made by the end of the month? I mean, why? What are we waiting on here? Future Super Bowls? No, seriously, why? What does it matter?
It's a good question. I don't know why. It shouldn't bother them. Maybe they don't really want him to leave the city of Chicago. It is the largest city in America with one football team with a lot of history. But they get involved in that stuff all the time. And they just try to let it be known about how they feel about what you're doing and everything else. I think they should spend their time telling people to put grass fields down. Try that on for size.
Yeah, this World Cup, we talked about that yesterday, Pat. George Kittle's came out and said, guys, and apparently players are talking about it. David said this is just another thing that they can negotiate when they want their 18th game. But if they can do this at New York, New Jersey Stadium, MetLife, it seems they could do it everywhere. And yeah, it would cost money to do in domes, but it's not like the NFL's short on cash.
Yeah, so I've talked to some people that make those decisions, and there's a couple of guys that will balk at the idea of a full grass field in the winter outside stadium. So they don't like that. But mostly what I observe when I go on my camp tour is the amount of other things going on in the stadium, like rock concerts, and grass fields and rock concerts don't work. And I recall we played somebody, they had a concert, and then they had to tear the thing up because it was destroyed. And I think they like the synthetic fields when they're going to have all the stuff in there that they do. But again, we're having a summer soccer tournament, and there's grass all over the place, and it's the biggest reason why guys are talking about it. Although I did notice some of the soccer guys were complaining about the new grass field at MetLife. I call it MetLife at Giant Stadium. But yeah, we all know what they want to play on it. Now, I talked to Dr. Chow about this many times, and he said it's interesting if you want to look at ACLs and Achilles injuries and you want to compare fields, which he does. He said the problem is that the numbers are skewed in a way that it doesn't, and this is why the league will say things like, well, there's not that many, there's not a lot of differences in the frequency of injuries. And Chow said to me, he goes, that's because in the summer, they're all practicing on grass and guys get hurt. And you're out there with 90 guys. He goes, so that'll inflate the numbers of injuries on grass. He goes, and he wasn't defending synthetic, but he was just saying you got to be careful when you look at the numbers. And I think if you look at the numbers on game day, I'm sure it would turn out to be safer on grass. But when you start looking at it for the whole time, they have a significant number of injuries on natural grass in the summer on practice fields.
Well, very quickly, because we're short on time. Does it make a difference or not? Like, would injuries go down 15% if they played on grass fields, or is this a minor issue that the media latches onto?
I personally think that the players believe and the coaches believe. I don't know if you've ever coached on synthetic surface, but you can't even coach on that stuff without your legs being exhausted at the end of the day and your back killing it. They used to call it turf back. That's what the coaches called it.
Well, I only played 2 games on Giants Stadium turf back in the day when it was concrete. It was awful.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Did you slip on the red painted one in the middle?
I mean,
Meadowlands?
it was awful. But so
Did you tell Jimmy's Hoffy was sorry?
Yeah, the coffin corner. Yeah. Got it. He's Pat Kirwan. Moving the Chains, weekdays 3 to 6 on NFL Radio. He joins us once a week throughout July and then back to twice a week in August. Pat Kirwan joining us courtesy of Pitchers, Tampa to Key West, all points in between. Pitchers where you can't fake fresh. Pat, thanks for everything. Appreciate it.
Take care, guys. Enjoy your day. Talk to you next week.
Pat Kirwan here on Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yeah, left Twix. I'm looking at the organization as a whole. I mean, they're 2.5 back after winning 6 of 8. And what are they? 4 games below 500? Something like that.
I mean, to me, it's kind of like being the Golden State Warriors right now. I mean, 3 of the last 4 years, have you made the playoffs? Well, you made the play-in. I mean, yeah, Happy Joy. I disagree in this sense. Yeah, the owners don't want to because it'll cost them more money because they'll have to keep replacing the grass field, maybe even every year. But I mean, if they can use it as a bargaining chip for something a lot more important to them.
I do think, Pat, we had like 10 seconds. I think he makes a valid point of the stadiums that grass in the wintertime. It turns into a mess. Now, they can change it every week, but I think it's a valid point.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes to the top of the hour. Alejandro Solana will join us then. Talk a little Heat, little World Cup with the QAM in Miami host at the top of the hour here on Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. 65 and 76. Your football magic numbers, 65 days away to the start of the college season. 9 weeks Saturday. And 76 days, 11 weeks yesterday. Seahawks, Patriots, Pacific Northwest, Super Bowl rematch. That's when the NFL gets underway. 11 weeks tonight, Australia for Rams and Niners.
Yeah, they're going everywhere. I mean, they're going back to South America. They're going to Australia. I can't imagine it's much longer before they try to figure out a way to play an NFL game in Tokyo. They're doing everything. We've expanded all over Europe now. A second game in Spain. They're in Germany regularly. So this has gone beyond London, and they had a game in Ireland. So I mean, they're going to be checking off the boxes. What they're going to France this year, right? The Saints are playing in Paris. So just keep checking off the boxes. They'll keep moving and further away. I literally, I mean, they're going to have a game in Japan. If they're going to Australia, they're going to Japan.
Agreed. How long till we go to China?
That one's interesting because they probably will. And I get all of you hate the NBA. I understand. But by and large, the world doesn't. The world likes the NBA.
Right.
China loves basketball. About the only and I get all the LeBron criticism, but the thing that was like to me was as legit as it was about LeBron, and there are plenty of reasons to take shots at LeBron. I get it. I've taken them. But that China thing did not go over well with the NBA fan. It's one thing for those of you that aren't fans to rip on load management, diving. I get it. There's plenty of crap we can talk about the NBA if we want to go that route. But from the NBA fan standpoint, who loves the league, the China thing bothered them a little bit. And the NFL doesn't pay attention to any other league, really, or at least admit to. I wonder if China would be a place that we're not ready yet.
But they have to get to 16. And what are they at now? 9? You know, they only count one of the Jags games because they count the other as one of their regular season games. So the fact they play 2 games a year there, I think they only count one of them. Whatever. But first off, I've been surprised. Why are they not in Canada? I mean,
why? Well, I mean, didn't the Bills play a few games in Toronto a few years ago?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were having attendance issues. And, yeah, Toronto was on the table as to when the Bills were, when Ralph Wilson and his estate was selling the team. And President Trump made an offer. He was one of the finalists. John Bon Jovi made an offer. He was one of the finalists. Okay, but, you know, Toronto was in play.
Right.
As I don't think it was ever in play as full time, but I think it was in play the way that Milwaukee used to be used by the Packers back in the day. And by the way, that's another thing. I mean, could you imagine proposing now? And they used to play like 2 or 3 games a year.
Yeah.
County Stadium in Milwaukee. And apparently it was, quote, necessary financially for the Packers to do that as opposed to playing their games at Lambeau.
Right. I mean, this is 40 years ago.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think they were they weren't close to being the number 1 league in our country at that time.
No, they were
still the number 1 league.
Right. But they were playing a game in Milwaukee through the 80s and football caught up to baseball right around the 86 World Series.
But you know, attendance of the regular season didn't, David. Not in either sport. You know, we have these notions in our head that every game throughout history sold out. Look at some of these World Series games from the 50s and 60s. There were seats available.
Very much so. I mean, hell, the day Maris at the 61st homer, there's like 22,000 at Yankee Stadium.
So I do think we have this revisionist history about how much people used to go back in the day. I just know they wore suits. My favorite shots are of hockey games, whether it's in Toronto or Montreal, and everybody's got a coat and a tie on. That's the one that baffles me.
I saw the Celtics at the Hartford Civic Center.
Right. The Celtics.
Right.
You know, this is the Fort Wayne Pistons, David. This is the Boston Celtics.
No. This was Bird, Parrish, McHale. No. This was early 80s. No, they were fairly successful. Right. No, Hartford.
Right. So, I mean, it's inconceivable now, but you're right. They don't do Canada.
That I find curious. Okay. And if they don't want to do Toronto, because the Bills maybe now are like, you know, it infiltrates our territory.
But that could be the Bills' spot.
Yeah. And I get it if they don't want to play a home game there. Okay, fine. We'll take Toronto off the board. Montreal, Vancouver. I mean, I don't know. Have you seen where they've been in the World Cup? Been a few people at these games. Stadiums have looked quite nice.
So where do they go? And I would go to Mexico twice. I wouldn't.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't. I'd go to Canada for 2. I'd go to Mexico for 2. There's 4 right there off the hop.
Okay. You want to do 2 in England,
You
one
do
in
2
London, one
England,
somewhere else.
But I get the questions would be because if I had to look up the largest countries, and they did it by land. I wanted by population. But do they ever go to Russia? Russia and China would be the 2 that that I would bring up, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, heck, if you're the NFL, it's only a couple more hours in the time zone.
Right. So, I mean, would they go to India? I doubt it.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
But talk about your population. China, India, Russia.
Do you go Middle East?
Would they ever, Ali famously fought a couple of fights in Africa. Would they ever go to an African nation?
Would they go Middle East?
Well, David, that's an interesting take right there. Because by the time that they go to the 18th game and are looking to expand their international foothold in the game of football, David, help me out. What region could spend more money to get an NFL game in their part of the world more than the Middle East?
Well, right. If they want something, they
Now,
can write the check.
Right. They haven't opened up that percentage of leadership yet, or ownership rather, but how long are we away before the PIF, all the money they spent on Live going, we want 10% of whatever NFL team.
Well, somebody just bought 10% of the Giants. I thought it was a Middle Eastern ownership group.
So I don't, aren't they doing some sort of flag football thing? I know they are in Saudi Arabia because there's Brady and other guys that are involved in it. I brought it up on the show when everybody was screaming and yelling about Live. I'm like, but you guys are okay with the NFL guys going there and getting paid. Okay, just checking. And it didn't bother a soul because, that's okay. So I'm just.
DP World Tour plays its end of the season tour championship in Dubai. Okay, but you've got a problem with Live. Okay. Once again, the hypocrisy on this one, I'm sorry. You could hate the idea of it. You could hate Miller and Moulton's stance on it. But we were all over how this is so hypocritical. Okay, we get it. You hate it. You hate everything about it. We're fine with that. But do you know how much of the golf world does business? I mean, they play a women's event in the Middle East. I mean, come on. I can't rest my case on that.
David, we got a text, Pelican Roofing to Florida text line. Taking games away from the U.S. to me is the NFL giving U.S. fans the middle finger. Well, they've been doing it for a long time. So apparently, my question back to you is, are you still watching? Because everybody's playing one now.
See, and to me, I think they're saving you money. Now you're only having to buy 9 games instead of 10, and think of the game they're taking away from you. They're taking preseason away from you. Everybody will play 8 home regular season games.
Well, when they go to 18, I don't think they're all going to play 2 international games. I still think it may be this 9 one year, 8 the next, AFC, NFC, in that they'll all play one. Because I don't think, David, when they go to 18, that they're going to force 2 neutral site games per team. They'll go to 2 preseason games. You're right. So fans will win. But I cannot foresee them going to 2 international games per team.
Okay, maybe not.
I mean, Jacksonville Volunteers. It's very different than everyone else.
Yep. I'm telling you, there are owners lined up who have told Goodell, okay, let me move my team to Europe. They're volunteering to be the NFL franchise that sets up shop in Europe. Trust me.
The money is astronomical. What do you think is worth more as a franchise? The Jacksonville Jaguars or the London whatevers?
By 3 times the amount of money minimum, the London Monarchs.
Put it this way, the LA Chargers, despite the fact that no one in LA seems to care, are worth more than the San Diego Chargers. And as Jeff says in our YouTube chat room, trying to build a global brand. Everyone is doing it. And he even chimes in with fake wrestling has done well internationally. It's done really well, Jeff. That's a great point. We don't go wrestling on this show, but facts are facts.
Right. I don't think, by the way, we get to 18 games while the current president is in office. Like, I think he might leave in January of 2029, and it may go into effect for the 2029 season. But, we're going to play the 26 season here in a few weeks. Okay, which really gives the NFL only one more year to burn before they get 18 done. I don't think they can get it done in essentially 18 months' time. I think it'll be 2029, 2030 when the NFL goes to 18.
And the NHL will be at 34 because what they need are 2 more teams and 2 more regular season games.
Yes, because we're all clamoring for that.
Yes.
You know what was missing from the NHL? Okay, late September hockey. Really? Oh, yeah.
And 2 more shootout losses. That's what was really missing. Yeah. Although I will say, I tell you what, David brought it up on Monday, and it's been happening. There have been trades. There are rumors of more. There are, you still got Larkin that's going to get moved possibly in the next 24 hours. You got Hellebrook that could get moved. You got teams talking. There's a lot going on that they're coming off of their best television numbers ever in the regular season. Their post-Olympic numbers were terrific. Best they've ever been. We didn't think it was going to happen because the 4 nations, while great, didn't lead to better television numbers. The Olympics did. The U.S. winning gold created a better and bigger television audience in the United States. So good for them with these sign and trades. They never did sign and trades, David. That's an NBA thing, for crying out loud.
And listen, I was right when I said it. A lot of you thought I was wrong, but I'm telling you, baseball's going into the Olympics and they're going to go all in for just the point that Mark has made. Look at what the Olympics did for the NHL. Look at what the U.S. having a minimal amount of success is doing in soccer. Baseball's going to cannonball into the Olympic pool. And why do you think the NFL is all in on flag football? It's an Olympic sport. Ka-ching.
We won hockey. We're winning right now in soccer. We win in basketball. David, the question does remain. If baseball goes to the Olympics, can we win?
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Go!
This summer, there's only one place to experience the roar of the World Cup at the British Open Pub in Bonita Springs, your World Cup headquarters, where the team is bringing every match live, full sound on every TV across the patio, with daily food and drink specials from the opening match on June 11th through the final on July 19th. Catch the electric atmosphere for every England and USA match and all the matches in between at the British Open Pub, Bonita Springs, at the shops of Pelican Landing, where the World Cup comes alive.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I'm not saying that they're not terrific stuntmen. They're the best stuntmen on the planet. But the result, it's choreographed, fake, whatever you want to call it. It ain't real. When the guy's lying on the ring and they pin him to a 3 count, he's not knocked out cold. It's fake. I loved it for a long time. I don't watch anymore. I don't know how they could come up with a storyline we didn't get from the time I watched when I was in single digits watching Georgia Championship Wrestling through going to see it when it came the very, very first time at then Tico Arena. They're unbelievable stuntmen. Unbelievable. They're actors. They're stuntmen. Are they athletic? Hell yes. It's fake. When I know before the match the injuries, stuntmen die too, dude. The injuries are not fake. They get hurt. They're stuntmen. But it's not a sport. When before the match, when the arena manager walks up to me and says, fans are going to be happy, all the good guys are going to win tonight. That's not real, okay? I've been backstage before wrestling matches. I took pictures with wrestlers before matches. I have a friend who was a wrestler for many years. Guy I worked with in Atlanta. His name's Chris Park. I can't think of what his damn... he ended up being huge in Japan. He wore a mask. He was something. He loved wrestling, ended up becoming a professional wrestler. Played O-line at Ohio University. Now I got to figure out what the hell his name was. Never made it to he was on the NWA thing. He never made it to the highest level. The Abyss, that's who he was. The Abyss.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it's a great name. 17-year tenure. He is an Impact Hall of Famer. Look at that. That's amazing. And we used to abuse him when he worked for the Atlanta Knights more than anybody else. He was such a softy Deadstroke, you have no idea. We would go into his cubicle with the Atlanta Knights and turn everything upside down. Pitchers, and he would literally be, damn near in tears. He would get so mad at us. Why do you guys keep doing that to me? And then Craig Jenkins, who was my boss, who also worked for NWA, was buddies with the Colonel, the guy, the manager, Colonel Parker. And the Colonel came down to see Jenks, and Jenks and I shared a big cubicle. And he came down to see Jenks. And Chris Park thought he was meeting Elvis. He was so mesmerized by that. All right.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Final hour of the show on this final Thursday of June. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Alejandro Solana coming up will join us shortly to talk a little Heat and talk a little World Cup. Alejandro, are you there?
Yeah, he should be. I don't know why he's not. Alejandro, can you hear us? Huh. All right. Give me a second, David. Talk
All right.
amongst yourselves.
No problem. Talking about will do. He's been working for QAM in Miami for quite a while. He's part of the Heat Radio Network. It's also the summer of soccer with Solana. How about that? Okay, does that make it like a movie, board, headlights and all that? So the summer of Solana in Miami. He's got a busy one between the Heat and the World Cup. U.S. in action tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern, because they're on the West Coast. They're in L.A. in a mostly meaningless match against Turkey. They're going to try to work some people into the lineup who haven't been in, try to work Pulisic and maybe one or two others to see just how sturdy they'll be next week when they're in the shootout round, if you will. So that's probably the most meaningful part of tonight for Team USA. 10 Eastern on Fox against Turkey. They've won the Group D. They have a 99% chance as of this morning of playing Bosnia-Herzegovina in the next round. So there you have it. The third place finisher in Group B. Switzerland won the group. Canada finished second. Bosnia finished third. They beat Qatar yesterday 3-1. That is likely the U.S.'s opponent next week on Wednesday in Santa Clara, I believe, where the Niners play. And that's where the U.S., they're staying on the West Coast. They'll have to come east if they can make it all the way to the semis. But they've been put on the West Coast for the most part, and they are staying there. And for now, they are having success there. And obviously, with the NBA draft having come and gone, the Heat with the big trade, getting their hands on Giannis, were able to pick up a second-round pick yesterday as well. We'll talk to Alejandro about that coming up.
He's joining us on video for whatever reason. Something wasn't working right with the connection. So I've just sent him the email. So it's going to be a couple of seconds here. But I will say when I talked to him briefly, was at 2 of the Miami World Cup matches. I'm incredibly jealous.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was something I wanted to do really more than anything. But obviously I can't right now. And one, I can't, and two, I don't think I could afford it. Holy crap. I thought tickets might dive a little bit before the event, but man, oh man, did they go through the roof. They stayed very pricey, to say the least.
Well, the nations also that were assigned to Miami, pretty attractive, to say the least. Alejandro's kind enough to join us right now. So, first things first, Mark just brought it up. We are so jealous of you being able to attend some of these World Cup matches. I mean, you've been fortunate. You've got a nice career going. We know you're going to do a lot more, but come on, where do these World Cup matches rank?
That is, I hope you guys can hear me okay, by the way. I'm at the gym, so I just snuck into a room. But man, so just a little backstory. I'm from Uruguay, and they're in the World Cup, and both of their first group stage matches were in Miami. So the idea that my family and I were, my parents who were both born in Uruguay, we had family from Uruguay travel to Miami, and we were able to go as a family to watch these games. Like that was, I'm not kidding. I've been to Super Bowls. I've been to World Series. I've covered the Stanley Cup finals. I've covered the NBA finals. I've covered pretty much the highest level of sport in our country, and nothing compared to going to watch, my home country in a World Cup in the city that I've lived in since I was a little kid. Epic, epic. Now, Uruguay tied both games, which is a massive disappointment. So on that front, not happy about that. But the overall experience was unlike anything I've ever seen.
Well, especially the Saudi Arabia game, because certainly Cape Verde, that was remarkable watching that. So now Spain, their final game. Let's just talk about your home country. They got to go. They got to play maybe the way Ghana did against England. I mean, they got to kind of. Don't you think this is going to be? Pray for a tie?
Pray for a win. I think if Uruguay doesn't win, it's going to be very difficult, depending on what happens in that other group stage match, to get through. I mean, only 4 third-place teams are eliminated, but there's no guarantee that you're going to end up being in third place, even with a draw. So I think, for Uruguay, it's win and advance. The problem is they've never beaten Spain. In the history of Uruguay, they've played them 10 times, 5 draws, 5 losses. They've never beaten the Spanish national team. So, guys, I feel like my World Cup experience is cooked. We're done. Uruguay, they need a miracle to get through. But look, overall, what the United States has been doing has been great. The games yesterday were electric. It's been a really fun tournament so far. So I am, bummed about my national team probably being done, but we'll see. It's not impossible tomorrow to beat Spain.
All right. Lots of talk, because obviously Miami's such an international city that when the World Baseball Classic has been in Miami, that the thought is, could the Marlins ever have games in a stadium that packed, that enthusiastic, etc.? Okay. Well, obviously, Miami's got a soccer team with Messi. Okay, they got their own stadium, the whole deal. But even their atmosphere doesn't compare to what you went to, right?
No. What the World Cup atmosphere was like, I mean, guys, with the Cape Verde fan base, I mean, that was unlike anything I've ever experienced before. Just think about this, a country of 500,000 people, and it's the first time they're on that stage, and they score 2 goals in a game. Like the excitement and the atmosphere at Hard Rock Stadium was insane. And there was this story going around prior to the World Cup that no tailgating would be allowed, and that they'd really be cracking down on the experience outside before you got into the stadium. And that's because, the Colombians and Argentinians snuck into the vents at the South American Championship at Hard Rock Stadium. I'm sure you guys remember the scenes from that. It was just a nightmare. Once you get there, it's a party outside the stadium. It's just an absolute party. You can't compare, Inter Miami's new stadium, called New Stadium. The atmosphere in there has been great, especially the first couple games. anytime you go watch Inter Miami play with Leo Messi, the atmosphere is solid. It's definitely a fun experience. But that World Cup atmosphere at Hard Rock Stadium is genuinely just on another level. Yesterday, Brazil, Scotland. I mean, you see the Tartan Army taking over South Florida. They're everywhere, these guys. They're at Lone Depot Park for the Marlins game. It's the loudest that stadium's been in who knows how long. The following day, I'm covering the Miami Heat draft party, which was weird because, Giannis Antetokounmpo was basically the 13th overall pick for them. And the Tartan Army shows up, and they're jumping all over the Heat floor at the Kaseya Center. And then yesterday, they're obviously at Hard Rock Stadium just partying and celebrating. They probably cleaned out all the beer once again in Miami Gardens. Like, it's just on another level. And there's such a large Brazilian presence in Miami, too, that like that stadium yesterday was just buzzing, absolutely buzzing. The weather wasn't great, but it didn't matter. I mean, just everybody was out there celebrating. So, and by the way, like that's what the tournament's about, right? The tournament is about these fan bases coming together and supporting their team. I know there was a lot of skepticism about the World Cup, what it was going to look like in the United States. I know there was a lot of skepticism about the travel and the logistics. For the most part, looks like everybody's kind of just made the most of it. The prices are ridiculous. There's no doubt about it, but everybody's made the most of it and has been enjoying overall a really fun tournament.
Well, you're absolutely right. And I mean, as obviously you love the game. I'm someone who watches every 4 years, and because my kid plays, I now know enough to be dangerous. And that's about all I'll say about my soccer knowledge. But man, we've won. I don't care what the U.S. team does going forward, Alex. I'd love to see them get to the quarterfinals. It would be remarkable for them to win a couple games in the knockout stage. But we've won as a nation. The way our country's been embraced by Europeans, by South Americans, by the people who are attending the World Cup, I didn't expect that. And to me, that's been lost. But the side story to me has been just the way we've been taken in by the rest of the world. How much every fan that's come has loved this tournament.
Yeah,
I think we lost Alex.
I think I lost you guys, but
yeah,
we're
you did.
losing you with
That's all right. We're about done. That's too bad. We'll get Alex again down the road, unfortunately. But that to me, I've been having fun with this Freddie, this German guy, and but it's not just him. It's there are French fans. I mean, if you spend 30 minutes looking at either YouTube Shorts or TikTok, and the way the world has taken in the United States, because we get badmouthed by media of other countries. That's just a fact. And now these fans, international fans, have come to the United States and are having a terrific time. It has absolutely been incredible.
And we'll also get Alejandro back just to get a little feel about Giannis and the Heat. And where do they go from here? How much better are they in comparison to where they were? So we'll talk to him down the road. Hell, it might even be tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get him again to talk Heat. That there's no doubt there, and he can get back to his workout. I mean, I do appreciate that someone taking time from, just like you and I, David, that we take time from the gym to do everything that we can.
Right.
Miller and Moulton.
I'm sorry. I'm going to laugh at that one right through the break.
That's good. That's what I'm trying to do. Put a smile on your face. Miller and Moulton, the Pro Hour. Hello, Tampa. Hello, Jacksonville. More when we come back. Thanks for listening.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I disagree with Alejandro. I think, and I don't know if any of my World Cuppers are in here, but I do think that if they tie Spain, they're going to get in. If they're talking about Scotland having a shot with 3 points, that would be 3 points for Uruguay, and they would have a 0 goal differential. I would think that's an automatic in for a third place team. I mean, Korea's at 3, they're -1. So I would think they get in. Atlanta traffic used to be no fun, Jeff, when I lived there, and that's a lifetime ago. Oh, I think so too, Skip. I don't think they're in. Ooh, Kevin Brockway with high heat on X. Post of Trayon Arnold there. Interesting. Nick Saban testifies before Congress about losing the transformative experience of coaching, mentoring young people. Yet this player was under his guidance. Ouch. High heat. Look, at Atlanta traffic sucks, Jeff, but I'm going to be honest with you. You know what traffic sucks? Fort Myers, Naples traffic. For a city of our size, the traffic problems we have are ridiculous. I'll blame HOAs because they take forever to build. They still haven't opened up Three Oaks between Alico and Daniels. It seems like it's been done forever. Yeah, I wonder how much of this, Skip, what I do wonder is, Americans going overseas, will they be treated any differently? I don't know. That would be the only, Where are you, Jeff? What small town are you in, if you don't mind saying? At least, in Collier's awful. Okay. David spent the night there once. What was the name of that hotel you stayed at?
Oh, God, it was a whole USA something.
Yeah, I've never been to Spartanburg. I've been to Greenville a bunch. I loved Greenville.
I like Spartanburg.
Greenville used to have a hockey team, or still does. But when I used to work in hockey, we traveled to Greenville a lot and would stay. Best hotel we'd stay at. It was right downtown. It was the Sheridan right there by the arena. Loved when I could walk to an arena from the hotel. That always made life easier. Yeah, they were the Growl back when I did it. That's another lifetime ago.
Was PD Spartanburg?
No, Greenville, Spartanburg, the same. PD was Florence,
Gotcha.
other side of the state. Greenville's kind of in the foothills, and PD, Florence, there is in the low country, as they call it.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. This final Thursday of June. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Looking ahead, because you and I may not even watch a second. You know, this morning show can get in the way sometimes. We have to make some calculated, what are we going to stay up and watch and for how long decisions when you're getting up at 4 a.m. or thereabouts. But Team USA tonight, 10 o'clock, taking on Turkey. About the only meaningful stuff is some people are going to play who haven't necessarily played in the first two matches. Is Pulisic healthy enough to play? If so,
why would you play him? Why would you play him? I'm serious.
I would have
a nagging calf injury. What's the point?
I'm with you. I would have to have a soccer person convince me about why the 30 minutes tonight is actually very important. Okay, whether it's stamina for the match a week from today, somebody needs to explain to me how there's a real benefit for him seeing action tonight. And if I don't get a resounding reason why, hell no, not playing him tonight. You got to be kidding me.
I'm thinking of betting the tie plus 300 in the U.S. game.
Ooh.
Just for what it's worth.
Ooh. What's the over-under?
You know what? The way it's listed, it's an over-under per... no, it looks like the game's 2.5.
Okay. So you needed the 2-2 tie, not the 1-1 tie.
Well, that's if I'm doing both. I mean, I can have a 0-0 tie. I'm not that worried about the over-under. But
gotcha.
All right, that would be that might be my lean today.
You know what I am going to be excited about next week? Just as a sports fan, pressure's going to be all on us.
Oh, yeah.
All on us. I mean, an absolute expectation of a win in advance. I mean, normally we're lucky to get out of group. We get out by a point.
Right. We finish in second, and barely so at that.
Right. And we win a goal differential tiebreaker so that we advance. Okay. And I mean, we're oftentimes not a favorite in the first knockout round match.
And we'll be a big favorite against Bosnia if that's indeed and it looks like we're going to play them. So, yeah.
And now that interests me. And in theory, win that match, will be at least favored in the round of 16 match to get to the quarterfinals, which is someplace we've only been, I think, once in 70 years. So, I mean, I hope they can get everybody healthy. I hope that they can be at their best next week, because it's going to be it's going to be a very big week and a half for U.S. soccer. You got all these people, Mark, who have jumped on, and you can't send them away early and disappointed. You got to at least get them into the tournament.
That's to make the comparison to hockey, because they're both niche sports. They are. And we're watching more soccer than ever before in this country. But if the U.S. loses that game to Canada when they were clearly outplayed and end up winning in overtime, I don't know if television numbers go up for the NHL post-Olympics. They might go up slightly, but not in the way that they went up. I mean, we had a huge audience for that Olympic game. And what time did we play the gold medal game? Like 9 in the morning?
Yeah, 8:30, 9 a.m. And it did a 20-something rating.
Yeah. So these U.S. games from this point forward are all going to be in prime time. I mean, that July 1st game or whenever the hell our next game is 8 p.m. They blow that game. Oh, my goodness. People will be all over them. But, they need to win that one, and I think they need to win the next one.
I do, too. If for nothing else, Mark, it's 5 more days of hype. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. They don't play every other day.
Right.
They need rest. So if they beat Bosnia, great. They're alive for 5 more days. Good. Network morning shows. They'll be alive heading into the 4th of July weekend. We turned 250, and
There
our
was
soccer
a
team
chance,
is winning.
by the way, and it's not there anymore, because if they win that, I think they play July 6th. But there was a chance, and I know many people had seen it, that if it worked out, and I think we couldn't have won our group to be in that position, but there was a chance we could have played England in the round of 16 on July 4th.
Oh, for goodness
Oh,
sake.
my goodness, that would have been something. I actually saw English people that I have followed because they've made trips to the States and have done fun trips, and they've been a pretty fun follow on social media. The guy's like, we can't have that. It's their 250. We're not playing them then.
Come on, you can't do that to us. We got enough trouble winning this tournament.
But that's not the case now. The U.S. will play, guaranteed to play on July 1. And then it looks like July, I thought it was July 6th. Yeah, July 6th will be the next game for the U.S. But you're right. That's a 4th of July. People cooking hot dogs, hanging out at pools and beaches, and soccer's going to come up as conversation.
Right.
By the way, you know who loses if they win these games? You know who loses big? Baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, that takes another couple of weeks when do we start? For those of us that are big sports fans, like you're a Mets fan, you pay attention every day to what they do.
Right.
I'm a Tigers fan. I quit paying attention because they suck. They're already done. It's over. But most of us start paying attention to the sport as a whole when the NHL and NBA playoffs end.
Right.
Well, now we've had the World Cup to pay attention to. And even if, to your point, David, even if they just win 2 games and get to the quarterfinals and lose, by then we've committed to this tournament, and it's the semis and the finals. And we've been watching the World Cup final now, the last 2 tournaments, in pretty big numbers.
And not only that, that means that your attention will be diverted all the way to All-Star Week. So, yes, this would hurt baseball. I have a question. I've watched a lot of this tournament. I have a lot. I'm not an MLS guy at all.
And you shouldn't be. It's a terrible league.
Don't all of the MLS games appear on Apple TV?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen an ad for Apple TV?
No.
I mean, don't you think this was a golden opportunity? I mean, YouTube TV buys time in the Super Bowl pregame, and Major League Baseball All-Star Game pregame is sponsored by YouTube TV. I mean, these networks will take anybody's money. Don't kid yourself. There's no reason Apple TV couldn't be all over Fox. I mean, don't you? Come on, heading into this tournament, we were in as weak a division as they could put us in. Okay, the consensus was we were at least going to get out of group. I mean, don't you, if you're Apple TV, have to go all in? By the way, when do we have another one of these things? Oh, yeah, in our country. I mean, why is Apple TV not spending a fortune promoting the MLS to try to get a few of us to watch the MLS when this thing is done?
Sorry, I was going The Departed and Nicholson when you start. In this country, no chickie. That's sorry. You lost me for a second. I'm just doing the scene in my head, and
I get it. I mean, I went to MLS, so that's on me. I've got Caitlin Clark in MLS today. I've invited it upon myself. My
and
bad.
the LPGA, David.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
This
sound.
is Miller and Moulton.
Jeff, that's about what it is. I've said it for you. It's like I don't even think if you want to call it the sixth best league in the world, I think that's pushing it. I'd be interested to see if you took the best MLS team and played them against I don't know what it's called now. It used to be the Coca-Cola League. Jason Carmelo. But if you took the second English league, not the Premier League, but the league below that, which was the Coca-Cola League. I don't know if it's still called that. If you took that league and took their champion and played them against the best MLS team, I'm very curious who would win. I think it would be the team from the Tier 2 England League. All right, the EFL it's now called. Okay.
Are you talking about Bobby Regan?
No,
Oh,
Jason Carmelo.
got it.
Okay, yeah. So I even is it that bad? Yeah. By the way, David, I thought this, and I asked my best friend there, Chat GPT, and he confirmed it with me. If the EFL, the Tier 2 league in England, if their champ played the MLS champ, the Tier 2 English league would be favored.
But once again, if I'm running the MLS,
Oh no, you're right. I'm just saying but
oh yeah, you've said for years you were like the first time you ever went on this rant was like 5 years ago, and you said on its best day, I don't know if it's a top 10 soccer league in the world. And then we started going through the leagues, and it was like no better than 8th on its best day. Oh yeah, you're told. I mean, although I do think if I'm the MLS, I want to see Messi continue to light up the World Cup like he does our league.
yes, no doubt.
I just.
By the way, can I just tell you how disgusted I am with Steve Yzerman today? Every day that goes on, I get more and more disgusted.
Something happened today or not yet?
Well, yesterday we got trades all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
No, they've done nothing. Every team's out there trying to get better, and they're not doing anything.
Nope. And they got a really good player, too, that a lot of people would want their hands on.
Uh-huh.
Hey, we pointed it out. Once again, Miller and Moulton, we are not the smartest guys in the room. It's a bad free agent year, and people have money to spend for the first time since COVID. This was going to be an active trade market. Just add it up. I also like what Buffalo's doing. Yeah, they had some success this year.
They signed Benson, their defenseman.
Yeah,
they knew they were losing Tuck. They get a draft pick for him. Big deal. But they got something.
They got a 3rd round pick for him and a player.
3rd round pick. That's a crapshoot.
I know, but they got a bottom 6 forward and a 3rd round pick for a guy they were losing in 5 days.
And they traded then they got the pick from Chicago.
Right.
And they're young to begin with.
Right. And they're going to end up with Hallebuck.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Thanks so much for being with us. Right now, no one lined up on the show tomorrow.
What the hell? I mean, David, the way you've been going, you should have MLS guest, LPGA guest, and WNBA guest lined up. They should be knocking our doors down to get on this show.
I would love for the 17 seconds that would follow Mark receiving the guest list and me just simply following it up with, well, I was just getting guests for every surefire topic I brought up on the show today.
Yeah, I mean, he does come at me at the MLS and WNBA. I'm like, don't forget the LPGA. We got that going in the 6 o'clock hour.
Got that right.
So, I mean, the downloads of these podcasts, please send your text to David, not me. But I honestly believe that the WNBA thing that you brought up is a legit point that the league refuses to address.
And they have to. They have to. Because quite frankly, the league's at a crisis point. And getting back just very quickly, I haven't watched a second of the MLS since they went to Apple TV. Okay? And I have Apple TV. And I don't watch it. Okay? This was an opportunity to remind people. You do know that Messi guy. Hey, he's playing in our league.
By the way, the whole ad should be with Messi in it.
Yeah.
And you think about all the commercials. He's doing the McUltra commercials. He's doing a few other. They have the advertisers in the World Cup have done a really good job of putting big time. McDonald's did a whole campaign.
Think about it.
McUltra, Pulisic's done an ad for a credit card. I mean, come on, they're doing their job.
Right, but just Messi alone. If Messi's the star of your league, think of all the alternate advertising that other major companies are doing to prop up your guy. You just mentioned it. McUltra, that's Anheuser-Busch. Obviously, we're talking McDonald's, all right? Lowe's, all right? And what was the other one you mentioned?
I don't know I don't remember the credit card, but there's a credit card company.
Well, Bank of America is the Pulisic one.
That's okay, Bank of America. Yes.
Right.
But I'm just saying that, the advertisers, and I'm not just saying all Messi, the advertisers are using the stars of this tournament as their spokespeople, and Apple TV's completely neglecting it.
And Diego C points out in our YouTube chat room, and David Beckham's getting quite a lot of commercial time.
What team does he own?
He owns Miami. And who's the star of Miami?
Wait. Oh, yeah, that's Beckham. I mean, that's Messi. Good gracious. Good gracious.
What are they doing? I mean, they can't be citing a budget crunch. It's Apple TV.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
Today in 1798, President John Adams signs into law the Alien Friends Act, authorizing the president to deport any foreigner deemed too dangerous to the peace and safety of the U.S.
Boy, that's just vague enough to be dangerous.
It sure is, David. 1868, we're back, baby. Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina readmitted to the United States after the Civil War. Known as Custer's Last Stand, today in 1876, General Custer and his army, the U.S. 7th Cavalry, wiped out by the Sioux and Cheyenne warriors led by Chief Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull. Bobby Jones, as an amateur, wins the first of his 3 claret jugs today in 1926. Herbert Hoover authorizes the construction of the Boulder Dam today in 1929. They'd rename that sucker. And guess what they renamed it? The Hoover Dam. Band called Sugar has a good song called Hoover Dam, for what it's worth. 1932, Gene Sarazen goes back-to-back, I had just won the British, and now wins the U.S. Open, shooting at that time a tournament record final round 66. Today in 47, Anne Frank's diary is first published. 1949, Warner Brothers releases Long-Haired Hare, an animated short film directed by Chuck Jones featuring one Bugs Bunny. The Korean War began today in 1950 when North Korea invaded South Korea. Today in 51, the first colored TV broadcast. Arthur Godfrey hosts a musical variety special titled Premiere from CBS to a network of 5 East Coast cities. Paperback Writer by the Beatles goes number 1 today in 66. The Omen with Gregory Peck premiered today in 1976. Prince's 6th studio album called Purple Rain, you may have heard of it, released today in 84. Letterman's last show on NBC was today in 93. That same day, Sleepless in Seattle premiered. Jay-Z's debut album released today in 96. Duncan, the first pick by the Spurs in 97. 2 years later, Duncan would be the MVP as the Spurs win their first title. Today in 2009, Blake Griffin, the first pick of the Clippers, but more importantly, And I don't want to say, I would say to Southwest Florida at that time, because we were only on in Southwest Florida, probably the first media outlet to announce this in Southwest Florida. It was Today in 2009 that Michael Jackson was found dead. TMZ.
There's no doubt we were first, because our producer all he did was follow gossip, celebrity gossip, sports gossip on TMZ full time. We used to have to go, hey, we're trying to do a show over here. It's like,
and
I don't care.
He broke it and said, guys, don't know what to tell you, but TMZ's reporting that Michael Jackson's dead, and he loved Michael Jackson.
Nope.
2015, Karl Anthony Towns' first pick for the T-Wolves. 2019, for you Panthers fans, Aaron Ekblad, the first pick by the Panthers, played for the Barrie Colts. That will be the only reference of the Barrie Colts on this show today or anytime in the near future. Writer George Orwell, Nick Willis-Reed, broadcaster Phyllis George, chef Anthony Bourdain, and singer George Michael would have all celebrated birthdays today. That's a pretty eclectic group right there. Carly Simons, 83. J.J. Walker, 79. Our favorite, Ricky Gervais, 65 today, David. Doug Gilmore, 63. Del Curry, 62. Dikembe Mutombo is 60. And Orlando Magic shooter Desmond Bain is 28. What did I miss?
Debbie Gibson, on this day in 1988, went number 1 with Foolish Beat.
Yeah, it was just about a few days earlier. I saw the post saw the thing, and I didn't include it. She played the mall there in New Jersey, and that kind of broke her career open.
Yeah, remember that was the rage back in the late 80s, early 90s. The mostly female, but the young pop standout, and the way they would get the attention, and then the next morning they'd be on the network morning shows. Yep. 3 PM, all of a sudden they'd play the mall.
Remember those? The mall. That's where kids hung out.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
Boy, I love me some Aladdin's Castle. Stack of quarters and video games. Woo! And then what was weird is you'd play like the Pac-Man asteroids in the front, and then you'd go to the back where the pinball machines were, and the kids were a little older, and the hair was a little longer, and they probably had a pack of Marlboros wrapped in their shirt. Today, the good comes to us from Massachusetts, when a raccoon who got his head stuck in a glass jar was released by Dedham Animal Control. I have to be honest. If a raccoon's dumb enough to get his head stuck in a jar, do we need any more raccoons? Can't we just euthanize the damn thing? I've got to check in with my buddy who just got back from Vegas he was out there for a bunch of poker events. I know he played, he's over 50, so he played to the seniors. He might not have been qualified for the super seniors, but that's where we go for the bad, to Vegas in the World Series of Poker tourneys. Andrew Martin was competing in the Super Seniors event, and he found himself in some hot water because his card protector, which is allowed by World Series of Poker rules, but his drew fire because, well, he had a butt plug as his card protector.
I'm sorry, excuse me?
I'm not going to say it again. Card caps can be no longer than 2 inches in diameter and no more than 1/2 inch in depth. His card protector was removed.
Holy blank.
And finally, the ugly. We go, I don't have a state. I've got Moulton. I know a lot of different Moultons, so I don't know where she was from in Moulton. This is on me for not having the state. But we go to a lawn where Charlene Davis, at the age of 84, was arrested. Apparently, it was 8:15 at night, and her neighbor was mowing the lawn. So she came out with her .38 and fired a shot to warn them that they were cutting the grass too late and that was too much noise. A report states the neighbor is heard asking, "What are you doing?" She then replied, I'm trying to tell you, you're waking us up and you better watch out. By the way, it was 8:15 at night and the 84-year-old was in bed.
Panhandle of Florida, Milton, Florida.
Okay, well, yeah, I knew Moulton, Mass, and I was positive it wasn't there because I can't think Charlene would be firing a gun in Massachusetts. But that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, June the 25th, brought to you by the Cape Coral Police Department, offering great pay, great benefits, overtime, other jobs available. CapeCops.com, CapeCops.com.
I don't even know if Charlene there makes the local WEAR news in Pensacola with that. I mean, big deal. Firing her gun right around sunset in the Panhandle of Florida. I mean, nothing to see here, right? Anyway, significant trade just went down in the NBA. Charlotte and Minnesota. The Hornets sent LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to the T-Wolves. They get back Naz Reid, a first-round pick in 2033 that's unprotected. 3 first-round pick swaps and 3 second-round picks. For what it's worth, at the beginning of this decade, Anthony Edwards went 1 and LaMelo Ball went 3 in the draft. Now they're on the same team.
Well, I'd seen that he was being shopped around, and there was a lot of talk, so it happened before the end of our show, which usually these things happen at 10:01 just to piss David and I off.
No doubt. No doubt. You got, more World Cup soccer today and tonight, obviously. 3 groups that are going to settle who finishes first, who finishes second, and who's third, and do they have enough points to advance?
The biggest game of the day is Japan and Sweden. I mean, I know everybody's into the U.S., but from a standpoint of ramifications, Japan and Sweden, it's at 7 o'clock in Group F. That to me is the biggest game of the day.
There's a limited Major League Baseball schedule. There's 9 games. Marlins not in action. Rays are wrapping up the 4-game series at home against the Royals. A first pitch of noon. Thank you very much. Cubs go for the 4-game sweep against the Mets. But there you have it. 3 afternoon games of the 9 that are in action. Your Tigers are hosting the Astros, and Rays trying to, Yankees and Red Sox beginning a 4-game series in
Whatever.
So, of course, one of those games, I believe Saturday, is nationally televised.
Yankees, obviously, best team in the American League right now. I mean, good time for Houston to catch Detroit. They're not any good, and Houston's now tied for second place, if not in an all by themselves in the AL West. So an opportunity to close the gap on Seattle there. So that, that's an opportunity. You've got to beat bad teams. And there's a lot of bad teams right now in baseball.
Especially in the American League. Absolutely.
And the Red Sox are the worst. That's something.
Remarkable.
It really is. Red Sox and Tigers both had big things expected of them this year. They're 2 of the 3 worst teams in the American League. Friday edition of Miller and Moulton, but we have no idea who the hell's going to be on the show. We'll figure it out between now and then. Have a great day.
The Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
No!
This summer, there's only one place to experience the roar of the World Cup at the British Open Pub in Bonita Springs, your World Cup headquarters, where the team is bringing every match live, full sound on every TV across the patio with daily food and drink specials from the opening match on June 11th through the final on July 19th. Catch the electric atmosphere for every England and USA match and all the matches in between at the British Open Pub, Bonita Springs, at the shops of Pelican Landing, where the World Cup comes alive.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
This is Miller and Moulton.